Hello, and welcome back. Happy New Year, because it's still, the acceptable time frame to use that phrase. Welcome back to another episode of Video Ditch. New Year, same podcast. It's me, Sam, as always, joined by Nick.
That's right.
And today, and we've also got producer Q.
Hello, happy 2014, everyone.
And on top of that, we got a return guest, the one, the only, Kevin Podas himself.
What's that?
That's right.
Thank you for being here.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
As you can see,
So well.
we've matured so much. We're out of the 1 FPS hell.
That's huge. I know last time I was like, wow, I don't know if I was moving at all.
Once every 15 minutes or so, I think it would take stock of where you were. Paste that on the screen.
And that's great. Viewers love to be immersed like that, to see the people talking move every once in a while.
Yeah,
But
they're
actually
looking down and then they look up like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, a lot of podcasts for a long time were almost all audio only, so people should be grateful to get even that.
Mm-hmm.
1 frame per second. That's like, that's pretty
if
good.
you're doing the dishes or something, you're looking down, you look back, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, they moved about as much as I expected in that 15-minute frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we're here. We've got Zoom Premium. We're in new setups, new hairs.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, you got a hair color. You got a bookshelf.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was inspired by Cool Bar, he was saying.
Exactly. I wanted to be based
okay,
Kuwabara coded for today's episode. Yes.
You got to go for the pompadour.
I know. I got the length.
Hey, or maybe you don't. Or maybe you don't. I guess if Netflix has taught us anything.
Well, and if that's not hint enough of what we're going to be covering today on today's episode.
Yes, the hot topic. Everyone's talking about. Everyone's stewing over. The Yu Yu Hakusho subreddit is full of people saying, I think it was good, or I think it was bad, actually, and other such opinions.
Yeah, we'll be sharing our thoughts on the Yu Yu Hakusho live-action adaptation from Netflix, along with, perhaps revisiting a game we mentioned before when Kevin was on, Lisa.
Yeah.
What's the
painful
subtitle?
RPG, alternatively the
There you
joyful.
Yeah.
Thank
Also played the joyful. Yeah.
And perhaps, we'll even talk about some Yakuza, Like a Dragon. Who knows? But, yeah. I guess to start us off, I was going to ask us, just to get the ball rolling. Kevin, what's your favorite anime opening of all time?
Favorite anime opening of all time?
Mm-hmm. Or you can give us top 3 if that's easier.
No, just the one.
Favorite? I mean, I honestly, I this is probably like a common trite answer, but it's probably Cruel Angel Thesis, the Evangelion opening. So iconic.
Actually,
that is
not
culturally significant as well.
Not what I expected, but not
Right.
bad. Yeah.
Okay, well, what were you thinking, Nick?
It's Smile Bomb, obviously.
Okay.
I figured someone was gonna bring up Smile Bomb, but I was thinking of the Asian Kung Fu generation. Any of their songs.
The Weezer
I've
cover.
always enjoyed.
yeah.
I just threw out the Love of My Dreams.
Yeah, of course. Big nostalgia for those guys. What about you, Hugh?
I think the English Dragon Ball GT rap is probably the best anime opening.
I actually do like the GT opening.
Take it to the Grand Tour.
I mean,
Is that what the GT stands for?
yeah, it's almost as good as the 4Kids one.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Almost.
wonderful. And everyone's holidays were good.
They were fine.
Yeah,
Just
They were
checking in.
adequate.
Yeah, very good.
I got some boxes. I opened them up. There was some cool stuff in it.
Mm-hmm. And before we move on to Yu Yu Hakusho, last year there was just so much. Any particular highlights for you, Kevin? Best
Of
games or
2023?
media you consumed. Yeah, now that the year's come to a close.
Every time the year ends, I see on social media people are posting their favorite albums, their favorite movies, their favorite games, like from that year.
Mm-hmm.
And then every year I'm like, maybe I'll do that. And then once the year ends, I never think about it. I'm really bad at like cataloging like enough stuff per year.
Right.
And I also think I don't like a lot of the stuff I consume of any kind of media. I feel like it's not exclusive to the one year. Like I'd be lucky if I saw like 10 movies per year. Like,
yeah, that came
I
out.
mean, I would watch many more than that, but like, I mean, 10 movies released like in that year, because I'm watching a lot of old stuff I may have missed as
Yeah.
well.
No, definitely.
And then I never end up like making a top list, but I think like I don't know. There was like I really liked the movie Blackberry last year. If you guys saw that,
I did not.
The Daniel Tosh program with the bear.
Oh, is it about the phone?
yeah, it's about the phone. Yeah, I think you're thinking of Brickleberry, which is also pretty darn good.
Another Netflix hit.
Yeah, gaming wise, I don't know. There was a lot of great games released in 2023. Again, I also played a lot of older stuff I missed.
Of course, you can't stop.
I mean, I really like Zelda, Tears of the
course.
Kingdom.
Okay.
I think like it was very big and grandiose, but it didn't have that same oomph factor that Breath of the Wild did, because it did reuse the same world.
Yeah,
it did
the impact is lessened.
Yeah,
100%
it did it
agree.
tastefully. It did it tastefully. It added a lot more than I expected, but still, I was like, "Oh, I remember this place. It looks a little bit different. Oh, this place is a little bit different."
Yeah. NPCs
And, like, that's-
are switched around a bit. Yeah.
It's cool, but you know, I still had a lot of fun with it. So that was like probably my favorite game of 2023.
Really? I'm shocked, actually. Since last time you were here, you were crowing, you were raving. For those who don't know, please check our previous episode with Kevin about Super Mario RPG Remake.
Oh yeah, I did like that a lot. At that point, I hadn't played it. I have now played it, and it's great. It's the old game, very little changed. I'm quite fine with that.
Yeah, that kind of just new coat of paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
left
was like
untouched. Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like that was appropriate. I don't know. It just like, because I feel like a lot of stuff is so modernized, and then it was in several ways, but I think it kept this very essential like mid '90s JRPG charm to it, and that was great. It's cool to see my friends Gino and Mallow once again.
Yes, they live
Right on.
after years
Yeah.
in the Square Enix dungeon.
Well, speaking of something that did not maintain its 90s charm with its modern adaptation, we've got Netflix's Yu Yu Hakusho. And I actually binged it all today. I started at 12, so I finished like an hour or
So
two
you
ago.
want to die.
So
So
sorry.
it's fresh. It's fresh. The
How
wound's
are you?
fresh.
How are you so bubbly after that?
I don't know, because I was so excited to come talk to you guys about it.
Dude, I was like fucking depressed afterwards. I
It was.
didn't want to talk to anybody.
It was similar to being punched in the stomach, akin to Toguro punching the stomach of Yusuke at the end of the Dark Tournament arc while he viciously murdered Kuwabara, or so you think.
Or at the end of episode 5.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, well, before we begin, so
I mean, I'm fine.
both of you are clearly very passionate.
No, I'm cool and calm and
about Yu Yu
collected.
Hakusho. Nick, I know you've been a fan for a long time.
Big fan.
Kevin, what's your history with the property? You know, the manga or the anime itself?
I didn't watch it immediately when it was on Adult Swim and Toonami. It was like 2008, I think I saw it, because a friend of mine had, he was a big fan, and he bought those like DVD box sets, and he lent them to me, and I watched them all, and I was absolutely hooked.
Was it the dub or the sub version?
The
that
first,
you were
the first
watching?
time I saw it was the dub. Yeah,
Okay, right on. Yeah.
where do you stand on
I-
that
it's-
for this series?
it's a good dub. It's a good dub. Ultimately, it's like, do I prefer dubs? No. I think like Yu Yu Hakusho, like a lot of like '90s dubs, does take a lot of creative liberties.
Certainly,
Like,
yeah.
you know, like I feel like
they really
something
sound
you
like
don't-
cartoon characters.
I mean,
with
Yeah,
that
like
dubbing, yeah.
you don't see as much anymore of like, oh, we're gonna have this guy have a southern accent for no reason or something like
Yeah,
that.
the
Yu Yu Hakusho
Australian.
is
Yeah.
funny of that.
Yeah,
but, like, it really-
Neufage, Deathmatch.
Yeah, and it really captures the vibe of the whole, like, I don't know, like these like punk kids who get pulled into this like battle with demons. Just like that's such a perfect concept for like a show or a series or anything, of just like these like Japanese like Yankee delinquent type kids who end up in like this like battle with like evil demons and otherworldly spirits. And yeah, I watched it watched it all. Then I've seen it a few times, and after watching the Netflix show, I had to rinse the bad taste out of my mouth. So I started reading the manga for the first time. I
Really?
never
Oh, very
read the
cool.
manga.
Yeah,
before.
I've never interacted it.
Were you shocked
interacted
at how
with it in that way.
radically different it is?
It's mostly in the beginning. It's different. I was like, and this is what I like. I do think it's very good still, and like there's some things about like Togashi's art style that like are not always carried over into anime. Where like some drawings will be very kind of simplistic, and then
Yes.
sometimes they'll just have this shadow cast over a character's face, and it's like a really realistic character study or just like a portrait of a character, and it really you feel their mood, and you see that the same thing in Hunter x Hunter, and which I've also read and watched and am a big fan of, but like reading Yu Yu Hakusho for the first time, it's cool to see that like it feels a lot more Togashi-esque, and I think that the beginning, I think the anime made a wise choice
Yes.
by truncating the beginning chunk where it's like a weird thing where I can't tell if Togashi wanted it to be a comedy or something in the beginning.
Yeah, he wanted it to be kind of a fake out where he wanted readers for whatever reason. He said in some interview later to think that it was going to be this lighthearted series and then smack them with Tarukane's manner and the horrors afterward.
And I love that. It just like even in the anime, I remember it taking a little bit, and it was only like 5 episodes I think until he comes back to life or whatever. But in the manga, it's like 2 whole manga volumes, and then he gets brought back to life. And there's a bunch of like, and some of the stories are fairly charming, some of them are not. But that's really the only major difference. I'm currently just finishing the Dark Tournament in the manga right now.
Oh, excellent.
And I noticed like in the I don't know if you have you read the manga, Nick?
Yeah.
How they have Yusuke's mom is like with them too. I'm like,
what's her name? No, Chizuru I think is also there, but
she's there
they
too.
don't have
Yeah,
the,
they
the
just
whole relationship with Sakyo in the manga.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's not
Yeah.
the manga.
No, they
No, it's
introduced
not.
that in the anime only. I think
Interesting.
because they both smoke cigarettes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well,
But yeah, I think it's fine to kind of cut her because like I maybe it's just because I'm so familiar with the original one. I was kind of like, does she like what role did she serve here? You know,
Color commentary.
I guess so. Yeah, but we get a ton of that from what's her face, the cat girl.
Yeah, Jury.
Yeah.
nice.
Was it Koto?
Producer Hugh, what's your history with? Oh no, we covered
His history
I
is
have
not
zero
existent.
history.
Zero history.
Yeah.
He's coming
Zero
into this.
investment.
Zero history.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very wonderful.
quick.
Wait, did you watch the Netflix series too or no?
No, I didn't even know we were watching it.
No, he's here to press buttons.
That's how
mostly.
prepared we are. Yeah.
He's just here for
Press
the
buttons.
the fun. No, but I think I was kind of curious because I was wondering if like you knew of anybody or anything who like watched the Netflix show and was completely unfamiliar with Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, that would've been smart.
That's my sister, right? But I haven't. I know she likes it. She likes the choreography and the action standpoint.
And I do have thoughts on that, which I'm sure we'll.
Yeah.
too.
We'll definitely
Yeah.
get there.
I did see the clip of him getting run over by a truck.
Yes.
And that was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was a bit
I thought
more.
that kicked ass.
I will say,
That was
It was so
alarming.
out of pocket.
I watched Yu Yu Hakusho for Nick and I's original podcast years ago.
So,
Right.
And we only ever got up to the Dark Tournament, so that's as much of the show as I watched. Then I kind of
Right.
Yeah, I'm not
we
gonna
saw the same
watch
piece and we
this.
said, well, why go on? We've reached the
So,
apex.
Yeah, so I don't think I have the same amount of nostalgia or fondness for the property for you guys, but I certainly do enjoy it, and yeah, certainly have thoughts on the adaptation.
That's good. Now we have something to talk about.
Right off the bat, highs and lows. I suppose if you have anything good to say, do you have anything good to say? We could load it up front before we start. I'm sure.
Episode 1.
Nick,
Yeah.
really quick, Nick, what is your relationship with? Because I know you're a big fan. You know, we've talked about it actually years ago.
Yes, we
briefly.
did. We did. That's the whole reason we even have any connection or know each other at all, really.
Yeah.
Because I noticed
Power
that you
of
also
Yu Yu
have
Hakusho.
a strong attachment to Yu Yu Hakusho. And I thought, that's good. This guy's a good guy. I don't know. I would stay up late to watch. It was like I would either watch Inuyasha or Yu Yu Hakusho, and then I eventually gravitate more to Yu Yu Hakusho. I'd see Yusuke on the screen, and I'd be like, "Yeah, that's basically me. That's basically what I want to be like when I'm older. That's exactly the kind of character I'd like to emulate." Completely missing the point of the whole Dark Tournament arc, really, and being like, "Wow, cool fighting." So it was all.
Yeah.
It was nice to go through that and watch it and enjoy it as a simple little baby, and as an adult, be like, maybe there's a little bit more to it. But I've always really loved Tagashi's art style. I think he's an amazing storyteller. I think the guy's a genius,
I do too. Yeah.
and everything about it, like the music, the art direction, the animation, has always really stuck out to me. It's kind of like the benchmark, like. Everything I want out of a show from that era is what I always recommend to people if they're like, oh, I want to get into like older stuff, but it looks like choppier. I don't like the way it looks. It looks like a slideshow. I said, watch this. Watch Yu Yu Hakusho, and you'll be shocked. You'll be amazed at how good it is.
Yeah, I've seen people like advocating there should be a Yu Yu Hakusho remake,
Absolutely not.
and I don't think I don't think there's any reason for that. Like, there's plenty of other anime I think that probably could benefit from that, but like Yu Yu Hakusho, it's like there's little to no filler. If anything, they cut stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
It's aged
and
well.
Yeah. It's like it's paced very well. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It has that very 90s vibe to it. And you know, the animation, I think the animation's fine. Some episodes are absolutely spectacular.
Amazing, yeah.
And that's like, you know, I was like thinking about that actually. I'll keep it brief, but like a lot of anime now, which I prefer in a way, is like a lot more consistent across the board with animation. Like the episodes kind of look very good from one to the other, but back in the day, like some series, like you could tell right away when there was more budget put into an
Yes.
episode, or they brought in like a special talent. Like
Yeah. Another animated
the one that
guest
comes to
animator.
mind is like Hiei versus Bui.
That's the big one. That is,
And it's like all of a sudden you're like, whoa, this looks different, and then it's like, holy shit! And it's like those episodes hit so hard because they stand out.
yeah. It's really something else. It's like an entire OVA in one episode. It looks so crazy, and it's so stylistically different. Even the way that all the characters act and move, it's really something else. And then
Yeah, and it like it really adds to like the mind bending craziness of the fight that's happening. It's
Yes.
just like it really, I don't know. There's other episodes that look like that too, but not a ton. But again, it's like I think that there's no need for a remake.
no.
I mean, hey, we just got one. We just had a great one on Netflix.
I think a problem, yeah, trying to capture the supernatural element by just kind of adding holographic colors or something wouldn't really have the same impact for me, at least. Maybe I'm just
Sure.
aged now. Who knows? Hugh, is any of this tracking for you, or is this all nonsense?
I mean, I get it. I understand what you're saying
Okay, good.
on some level.
That's great.
The spirit of what you're saying, I get. The context,
Oh, spirit.
not
Those
so
are
much.
words.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think removing it from the '90s does take out a lot of its charm, and like the Netflix series, we can start there because I think it was a missed opportunity to root the show in like a time period, right?
I took notes
It's
on my
generically
phone.
modern, you know.
I had that exact same note. I was like, because like I even like back in the day, I like, you know, to be honest, like I Yu Yu Hakusho was an anime where I was like, this is one of the few where I could kind of see a live action adaptation working. Like it's like mostly it's like 75 to 80% grounded to reality and like 20%
Yeah,
fantastical. That can work, but
there were glimpses
always-
of it working. You know,
I
in
always
this,
was
yeah.
like, it has to be like taking place in like 1994 or like the early 90s or something, like Japan. That very specific era. Like they could have made this a period piece of like an early 90s, like beat 'em up demon fight thing, and it would have been so amazing.
It would have done
like,
so much more for them.
They
Yes,
could have
sure,
leaned into
yes.
it, like just and like granted, like this one, I would say was like fairly anachronistic. Like it wasn't because I was paying attention because like I was wondering what time period it would be.
Yeah,
like
no one pulled out a phone or anything. Yeah.
Nobody took out a cell phone or anything, so like there wasn't anything like immersion breaking like that. But I think it was like when I saw Yusuke's mom's TV and some of the displays and stuff, it was like, oh, these are HD TV
Yes.
monitors and stuff
or
like
the
that. It was, like,
cars. Yeah.
Big,
the cars too. Yeah, it
all
was
modern.
like, man, like they really could have had some fun with this, you know. Also, there was no Kuwabara didn't have any Oingo Boingo posters up in his room in this one, so that was kind of also a mischance.
The modern hairstyle instead of the classic pompadour ducktail. Big miss.
Did either of you watch? Did either of you see the Diamond is Unbreakable live action adaptation?
No.
I didn't, but I heard it was good.
Yeah,
I
did see it.
Is it not?
I'm not a huge fan, but I think it has the same problem as this adaptation, where like that took place in the '90s, right? Part 4.
Yeah.
1999.
This is so like it's pretty just anachronistic, generically modern, with the live action adaptation and.
I think like the
suffer
few
for it.
like brief clips I saw from that movie, it already looked a lot better than this because like there's like you can tell like I don't know why this is so hard for people to figure out, but like have some fucking fun.
Yes.
Yeah,
Be
that was
goofy,
another
be
note.
campy.
Yes.
Like have like the even like in the clips I saw from the Part 4 JoJo movie, like like some of the like the looks they would give each other and like the little what the hell is that thing called? Heart attack.
Sheer heart
Sheer
attack.
heart attack.
Yeah, the little like tank thing and stuff.
Yeah.
It just like they leaned into the goofiness of it because that's what we love about this. You know,
It's true.
Yes.
I will give them credit
Keep it
there.
stupid,
They gave
play
him
it
like the
straight.
crazy ass hair, at least. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
They-
costuming
they're all
here.
costumed.
Thank God.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's Takashi Miike directed it, right?
I
think
believe
so,
Yeah.
Yeah,
honestly,
he did.
they should just hand over every anime adaptation to him because he
Yeah,
did the
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
he did the Yakuza adaptation too, and that's like a perfect adaptation.
I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah, he did the Yakuza movie.
Oh, it's
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to
classic.
check
You
that
should
out.
check it out. Probably
Yeah.
the second we stop recording.
I think I will. But yeah, no, I think like really though, like just not only should it have been like based in the '90s, like the early '90s specifically. No 1998 bullshit. I'm talking like
Yeah, no
early
turn of the
90s.
millennia. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, give me that
And
early
they-
'90s shit.
They should have like also had a funkier soundtrack.
Yes, the
I wanted to talk
soundtrack
about the soundtrack.
boring
Oh,
as
yes.
hell.
It was
So- it's
extremely
so
So
fucking, like-
bland.
you know. And the composer, you know, he does work within like the industry today. Like he's done Vinland Saga recently, right? And the
Wait,
music
the
he does
composer
Vinland
for
Saga
the-
is good.
Wait, the
For the
the
movie.
anime composer for Yu Yu Hakusho? Wait, no, wait,
the
like
Vinland Saga
who did the
movie?
Vinland Saga?
The guy that did the music for this series on Netflix, like Yutaka Yamada or whatever his name is, did music for Vinland Saga, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
So it has like kind of the similar epic vibe, but it would work so much more in that like
Right, it
Viking
makes
battle
sense.
fantasy story there, where it's like
Right.
Yeah.
it's kind of just generic action.
I mean
movie.
the Vinland Saga soundtrack. I can't even like think of what it even sounded like.
The really irritating thing to
Rousing
me
battle
is that Yu Yu Hakusho has, you know, I said it before, a perfect soundtrack. Literally just pick them up and drop them in. I don't care.
Dude, like they had that one not really a needle drop, but that one like scene of like the rogue Smile Bomb is playing on the car speakers. I liked that because I had such low expectations, and any scraps being fed to me, I of course ate them up.
Yeah, of course.
When that happened, I could tell my fiance, I think, was aware that I was hating life watching it.
Uh-huh.
So she was like, "Look, it's the song you like is it's playing." I was like, "Oh, maybe."
She's trying to calm you down.
There
I'm like,
it is.
Stop!
Yeah.
Stop throwing things.
Thank
Just
you.
listen.
It's like this is what you
Yeah,
scared
I
with too.
Yeah, like there was God, how was I gonna say? There was like the Smile Bomb soundtrack was like, but like just like thinking of like God, like the Yu Yu Hakusho anime soundtrack, like they could have like done like a recomposition of Monster Suit.
Yes.
Like yeah,
Yeah, they had such the moods of the old.
Yeah,
soundtrack,
yeah.
You know,
Any of that-
like that
Yeah.
is like just like or Time Limit or like any of those like
Or even play
or any of those songs.
The one that's literally called like, if you look it up, it's like Yu Yu Hakusho Untitled Sad Song. Play that when Genkai dies or something.
Yeah, I know.
I would have loved that shit.
Do anything.
It's like hilariously the formula is there. It's all there. You know, they just didn't take it.
I mean, I'm skipping
For
all
whatever
over the
reason.
place because it's so aggravating. But
Yeah, let's reel it in. Was
episode
there
one,
anything-
episode one, I think
anything you
was the
guys
only one that made me think maybe there's something to this.
Yeah.
The pacing was okay. I thought they were going all right. I was like, 5 episodes. They're taking a lot of time on the Spirit Detective arc, but this is the amount of time it needs. So I guess
Yeah.
I guess we'll get to the Dark Tournament in season 3. Oh, how wrong! How wrong that was! How stupid!
Yeah, I think looking at how we all reacted there, I think we all had the kind of similar trajectory of like, okay, this isn't gonna be great, and then it just diminishing returns.
Yes.
Yeah,
all
I was
the way through.
I was also watching it with my girlfriend in the room. I remember, I'm like, I don't hate this. I don't hate it. And she wasn't paying attention. I'm just like, I don't hate it. And then, like, episode 2, well, I don't know. I guess we could probably wise to go episode by episode.
Yeah.
There's not that many.
Well, episode 1,
yeah.
But, like,
the Yusuke's death, quite epic, as you mentioned.
Yes.
Very good.
Him being brutalized by a semi-truck because of
when
the
it
Makai
started,
insects,
my
which was
my
very...
fiance was like, oh, they're too afraid to show him get hit by the truck.
Very...
And then it happened.
I had to rewind
fucking boggling
3 times.
to see him getting killed over and over.
Yeah, because, like, I was watching it and I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Like his
And I had to go
horrifically
back and I just
violent,
started
lively
laughing.
death.
Like, it just was like, it was so over the top.
It was.
And it was, they should have kept up with that, honestly. That was a great start. Make it that
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean-
Make it so when Yusuke punches someone, their fucking head gets blown off.
Yeah.
I will
This
say,
is, these are-
tonal inconsistencies. Another problem I think that the whole production kind of faced.
Yeah, and like even like the opening credits, it was like surreal to see Togashi's name like on screen like that. I was like, wow, that was like the moment where it was like, wow, like this is real. This is happening. This is like finally Yu Yu Hakusho live action. I have all of it right here. I can watch it all in one night. How great.
Yeah.
That first episode really fools you. Because you get those shots where like, okay, now it's cool to see this anime finally grounded in some sort of reality, right? Like, it's more rooted in actual Japanese culture, like, and you're seeing it all happen on screen, like at his wake and stuff.
Real
like,
Japanese
this
people.
is cool. Yeah,
So
like
crazy.
the ceremony happening. And I love when film captures that sort of shit. So it's like, oh yeah, get the ball rolling. And then, episode 2 rolls around, and you're like, that movie.
Well, hold on, I'm
quick.
still complaining about episode 1.
Yeah. Episode 1, please.
Big thing about episode 1. I'm sure Kevin, you noticed this also, and Sam, since it's about where we left off. Why introduce the Makai insects from the Saint Piece and then completely drop it?
Yeah.
You know, I
needed
didn't
like a
even
weird
hate that.
fodder. Yeah.
Like I like that was a part where I kind of like understood the condensation. And listen, y'all know I love the same Beast arc. I think it's better. I think it's better than the Dark Tournament.
You are out of your goddamn mind.
I do think that.
You are out of your goddamn mind.
You're crazy.
You think
And
Genbu's a
I'm
better
bringing it to the
antagonist?
Dark Tournament, and I just read through it all, and I'm like, I still feel that way. Like I don't know. Like I think it was like
All
that
killer,
was
no
where the
filler.
series really hit its stride for me. Was like I really loved the early stuff with like Yusuke and Kuwabara, and then Yusuke's meeting Hiei, Yusuke's meeting Kurama, and then like the Saint Beast arc is like they go to this like castle, and then like the 4 of them team up for the first time, and I think because like, that was when I was like really fell in love with the dynamic of those 4 characters was in that arc, and like each like fight is doled out so strategically and like really showcases like the characters' abilities and personalities. Like Kurama's we see them, Kurama and Hiei kind of fight other characters for the first time. Like Kurama takes out the rock guy fairly easily.
Yes.
And then Kuwabara really struggles with the second guy, the cat guy.
It's Byakuya.
And he comes back like twice. And it's almost this thing of like his fight gets so drawn out, which I felt like was just telling of like we're learning about who these
His
characters
character,
are,
yeah,
how powerful
through the
they are.
action, yeah,
Yeah, and like
that.
he struggles to keep up, and that's why he's awesome. We love him for it. And then Hiei's fight is like over instantly.
Yeah, one shots him.
Yeah, and then Yusuke's fight against Seiryu, I think it's
Suzaku.
Suzaku, yeah.
Seiryu's the
Seiryu was the
dragon.
ice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was like, I hate to say it, but it was simply epic. Seeing him like
We're no strangers to
fighting
things
in
being epic here.
they're fighting in the top of the tower, and like the other 3 are like fighting off the other little minion characters, and then at the same time there's like a fucking like horror movie happening with like Keiko and Botan being
Yes.
Oh,
The possessed humans.
Yeah.
being chased by those evil teachers.
Yeah.
I will give the St. Piece this. It did a much better job actually giving Botan a character, giving her something to do, making her like something more than just a little cute girl following Yusuke around. I also really like her design with the biker jacket in that arc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was not enough there was not enough 90s drip in
Yeah,
this.
let's be honest though. Like there is no like Toguro or Sensui. Nobody comes close to those fucking teachers at that school as the horrible villains, changing Kuwabara's test scores to fail him.
Really villainous.
The one chasing Keiko with a pair of scissors trying to kill her.
Horrific.
Terrible. Terrible.
Horrific, yeah.
Again, also skipped over.
Yeah.
And that was my first worry when I saw the trailer. When they showed, I figured it would be short, but when we saw mostly just the Yukina rescue arc, which I know we'll be getting to, but like that was like, okay, I mean, it's kind of a bummer we're not going to see it, but it is what it is. I didn't think it'd be this bad, but I think like.
Yeah, 5 episodes. It's a short runtime. Like,
right,
do
and
you
like
think,
even
do you
like
think it would have benefited from more?
Like
or
the
do you think
One
they should have
Piece-
just reduced the scope?
I think
of the
it
story?
would have benefited from a lot of things.
Yeah, too many to even like it just
I
would hurt
suppose
my
so.
head even. Yeah, no, but like the One Piece live action, we've gone on record before. I think it's actually very good.
And the public agrees. So,
Yeah, surprisingly so. There was no way I ever expected that to be
You're saying
any kind of success
unexpected delight.
at all. And then it was. And then I knew that when the Yu Yu Hakusho thing would happen, people would have way too high of expectations. Like, I think a lot of people saw One Piece and they're like, wow, this is the way of the future. We're going to anime live action adaptations are what's going to, then we get this and it's like, maybe not.
I don't think it's as bad as Cowboy Bebop. I think, like, if there's a spectrum, Cowboy Bebop's going to be at the end for me. Right.
That was fucking horrible, and that was also why, like, the same studio that did One Piece, I was like, "There's no way." I don't know what the secret sauce is. I think like the creator's involvement for the One Piece
that's
live
what
action.
It was with One Piece. There was such
And
a clear love between all sides.
And there was no way I ever expected Togashi to like get off his ass and be on set for like this live action Yu Yu Hakusho.
He's got to play Dragon Quest.
Could he?
No.
Yeah.
Anything that can pull him away from like drawing more Hunter x Hunter is like, no, don't distract him. Let him get to it when he's ready. If anything, I was hoping like, this like show would like at least get him to draw 10 more fucking chapters, but like it was probably such a bomb he's probably never gonna draw again.
Yeah. Just as planned is what he's saying.
Yeah. Right. He's leaning
He's sitting
back,
there
kicking
with
back.
fingers steepled.
Yeah. With his fake back pain. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
He's taking off his disgusting hunchback and leaving on the sides like, yes,
Yeah.
my plan.
Putting his arm around the Sailor Moon artist. I don't know. I mean, I guess getting back to episode 1, like you were saying, didn't hate it, but I don't know. I was curious to see what they were going to cut out because of like what we saw in the trailer.
Yeah,
And
ignorance was truly bliss in that first episode.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
could go anywhere, like these decisions they're making, I can understand.
Yeah.
And then they start making more and more decisions that can't fathom to understand. With the characters' introductions in that first episode, how are you feeling about Yusuke, the performance, the likeness, the costuming?
He looks like Yusuke. He does not act like Yusuke. Episode 1 is the most he comes close to acting like Yusuke in the scene.
He was smoking
with,
a cigarette, but he didn't look up her skirt,
Yeah, he's just not. He's like
Understandable.
They're trying to make him.
Where's his edge?
They're trying to make him cool instead of being like kind of a dickhead. He's supposed to be like rude, impolite, kind of
so noble.
no
though.
social
so
graces whatsoever. I hated it. He should not be noble. He should not be generic shonen protagonist. He's a self-interested, punk. That's the whole point of his character. He's not just dressing like that and wearing those clothes. His teachers don't hate him because he's kind of quiet and really strong. They hate him because he skips school and he smokes.
It's true. The delinquent archetype has been softened for this adaptation for both him and Kuwabara. Kuwabara is so goofy, and I didn't even hate it, but he is just very goofy.
I thought he was like still like I was gonna say like Yusuke I agree with you guys. Like he was kind of like a little bland. I didn't hate him or anything like that, but like there was like
it wasn't the
there's
worst.
like this like you said, this goofiness, this crassness about him that was completely missing. But like Kuwabara, I thought was again, I like they gave him the fucking like zoomer haircut with the sides of the head shaved and the fucking swoop over.
Yeah, was that too much for you guys? Were you just already
Like,
they had crossed the line with Kuwabara's
Like
hair?
I think that the pompadour here, I have an example right here. The pompadour is so
It is.
important to his character because that is like the Japanese Yankee, the delinquent like look.
Yeah, that's the
but you know what?
archetypal look.
It's just not the
Maybe
same.
maybe
As
it's
we
not
say as
anymore.
foreigners.
You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, very. Hey, you put me to shame with that one. I got my dinky little like thumb size. Yeah.
So if we're gonna
A
go
capsule
Kuwabara for Kuwabara,
Oh, wow.
Are you gonna keep that in the box? Or are you gonna play with it?
I broke it.
Oh,
So it has to go back to the box.
so the box kind of keeps
The
it
box is the only thing
together.
keeping him alive.
Yeah. That's.
But
But like the whole, like I don't know, like I like that he was still goofy, but there was like something off about him in some way. I don't know, like something about the actor's performance felt like he just was like give us like generic idiot.
Yes.
Like-
yeah, you're playing like supporting goofball friend.
Like he was playing more like Cosmo Kramer than Kazuma Kuwabara.
Yeah.
He was bumbling.
Like he was like doing the you know.
Hair shaking.
Normally-
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, when we get to episode 5, there's one thing that was fucking crazy to me that he did, but we'll get to that.
Okay, that's interesting. I right. It's always interesting to see these characters that are, they're high school aged in the anime, and then you're adapting that to actors, and it's like, what would a high school aged like student actually look like? I think with all the casting, they did a fairly good job. Where it's believable. It's not weird, right? To see.
I mean, like I think that Kurama and Hiei were actually
Those-
worse.
They
Yeah.
looked horrible
I will
to
say.
me.
I mean, yeah. Looks wise, Hiei's hair was like really horrible, and then Kurama's
They
hair
gave
was
him
just...
the fucking pompadour.
Yeah, I know.
Super
How do you get the
spiky.
gigantic thing?
Yeah.
Like I
did not
was
like that
watching
shit.
this and I just Googled like Hiei cosplayer and I was like, okay, that's how you do the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it has to
All
be
right,
like
I will stipulate
like
the
this-
high
it
school
has-
aged characters looked high school aged. But-
Yeah, but like Hiei's like the hair has to be like I don't know.
It fans out with the
Yeah,
with
fanning
the
out, yeah.
headband, right? And there's more to it than just the weird faux hawk esque shit they had going on. It was.
I mean, like it just looked so bad.
Mhm.
Like I thought Hiei looked the worst. Like Kurama, I could kind of put up with. It still
Kurama
looked bad.
felt so lazy. It
The
felt
hair, like
lazy
the
as hell.
Yeah.
The fucking bangs over it. God
Mhm.
damn.
It
Get
looks
him a better
very
wig.
Party City.
Yeah.
Kurama
you- that-
costume.
Yeah.
yeah, or it would be called like Fox Demon
Yeah.
Boy.
Fox guy.
costume.
Foxy
Yeah.
Demon Boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we
And
could. No,
I episode 2 kind of tricked me a little bit too because I found myself captivated by some of the action scenes. Like I will say, even still,
Yeah, let's go to the action. That's a great.
the Yusuke versus Goki fight
Mhm.
I thought was actually pretty good.
So
Yes.
I read that the choreographer, the director of the fighting, was the same guy who did the live action Rurouni Kenshin movies.
That
And
makes
I think
sense.
it's very like telling, like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I totally
And, like,
see his
I-
style through all this shit.
I am a big fan of Kenshin. Not a big fan of the controversy that happened.
Yeah, of course.
You got to mention that. You got to mention that. 'Cause that was like the first like manga that I ever got into really,
Mhm.
and a big and
Right
definitely
on.
like a big anime I was really into. But like that was the first one I went out and bought the volumes for, and I watched the first live action Kenshin movie and
Yeah,
was
I
shocked.
rewatched
Like
it
I
recently.
actually kind of like that one.
Yeah.
The pacing makes sense for a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And also the action, like just there's something about like, I think that cracked the code of like, just put the characters on like strings and have them run along walls and stuff. You know?
Yeah.
and then just kind of float down fast and hit him with a sword or something.
I think
Like-
what those movies had going for them as well was like the atmosphere of it being historical. Like it just
Yeah.
added so much like just texture to everything.
And this also could have been historical
Exactly,
to
if it
1994.
had
It could
because
have,
it-
yeah.
to the era.
period piece aspect is what really added to it. Then.
And like the whole, I don't know, because like I think there must have been some crossover with the One Piece live action as well, because I know the actor who played Zoro is also in a number of like other
Yeah,
live
he was
action.
in the
anime
Kenshin
adaptations,
ones.
which-
I think he was in the third one or the second one. Yeah,
Yeah, he was in one of those. He's in the Full Metal Alchemist live action, which is
he's
even
Sonny
worse than Yu
Chibas.
Yu
It is.
Hakusho.
The guy that
It's
plays
probably
Zoro?
the worst.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Unrelated, very funny thing. I remember reading an interview from the director of the Fullmetal Alchemist live action. He said, "I want Fullmetal Alchemist, the live action series, to be Japan's Marvel. I think this is really going to take off, and this is going to be when people think of Japan and they think of cinema, they're going to put us on the same page as Marvel. Practical effects and visual effects, and the Fullmetal Alchemist.
FMACU. Yeah.
That is
Who could forget?
depressing.
Yeah,
Oh, my
All right. Well, we can move on to episode 2, unless there were other initial kind of like red flags for you guys watching this stuff.
Well, yeah. Well,
Goki
episode
fight,
2.
yeah.
So it was the Goki fight,
Goki.
and then it was
Kurama,
also
yeah.
the Kurama
Yes,
thing.
and then that's when it started careening
Yeah,
to
yeah. Then you're like, okay, it's really
Evil
moving
iPad.
quick now, huh?
yeah.
That was like, and then again, I was willing to forgive that. You know, that was fun. Like
Yeah,
compared
but when
to
they
later,
fucking
which we will
steamrolled
get to.
everything, yeah.
Compared to later, it's like if you have anything bad to say about episode 2, I want to do a wellness check on you by episode
Right.
4.
You live, yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
and I think like the Kurama,
It was
thing
fine.
was
It's hard to
fine.
make it compelling.
It's about
Like,
It
as
was
long
like-
as the
I
original.
think-
I don't think they should have had him floating in midair in the weird space.
No.
with
goo,
the
but
first 2
whatever.
episodes.
there like
Oh no, go for it, Goodman. Yeah.
there's something that these people just don't fucking get right about these live action adaptations. Is like it's either they always either don't do enough or they do
Exactly.
too much.
There's
Like some
Yeah.
like it's like some parts it's like wow, these costumes could have looked a little bit better. Wow, the CGI's bad. But then it's like, oh, you blow the budget on this stupid fucking like smoke and mirrors like
Yeah.
CGI scene in the hotel with like or the hospital, sorry, with like Kurama's mom. And it's like
Yeah.
there's no point. It's like you're adding flourish where there doesn't need to be, and then taking it out from parts where they absolutely need it.
Yes, or trying to add weird things to characters that don't matter and are instantly squashed, like Kuwabara being a demon racist for 2 seconds.
they just gloss over it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he sees like, oh, he has a mother like me. Never mind. Demons are great.
Yeah, the first 2 episodes really
Yeah.
you could already feel pacing issues like by that second episode, because there were times when it just like felt like it was dragging already. I was like, how is this happening? Like that first episode was a long hour. And I feel like it should have breezed by, but it felt long. And then kept going with the second episode, and then by the third, what's happening here? Is that the training montage?
The third is the
Oh god.
it's just Genkai tournament doesn't happen. Genkai says, "Yeah, I love righteousness. I love honor. You
Yeah.
kids,
No
you kids got
rando?
gumption. No rando, no guy with the stupid ass night vision spear goggles, no big
Yeah, no-
nasty
no
bat
Genkai
thing that
tournament.
Yusuke strings up by his wings."
You see, those would be things that I would be understanding of. Like, I get it.
Sure, yeah.
But they just, like, they turned it into the most generic
Like
fucking...
martial arts training
bullshit of like, oh,
montage,
Kuwabara has to-
kind of, yeah.
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 I have to break this rock, you know? And
Completely
also, like,
at the expense of the characters too.
they couldn't even get his fucking sword the right color either.
You didn't like the lightsaber
like
they
blue.
gave?
I know.
Where was Yusuke's fucking
Yeah.
like spirit beast either? You know, Pooh. What's his name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pooh doesn't exist.
No poo. I
Merchandise
didn't even
opportunities
realize that. Yeah.
missed. Netflix could have sold toys,
Seriously.
but
Yes. Now how is he going to fight Sensu? The fools! They ruined it all.
Let's pray that never has to happen.
Oh, you don't want to see live action Chapter Black?
okay. So at this point, how are we feeling about Botan, Keiko, and Genkai? You know, their portrayals.
Genkai is not Genkai at all.
It was discount
Genkai
Michelle Yeoh,
sucks.
you know?
Fuck
She's kind of
Genkai.
just doing like the old master routine. I was not into.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, and like, we actually
Oh.
forgot to touch on Koenma.
Adult.
Oh, that he's just an adult from the start.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think
He's
I
an
prefer
adult
that
from the
over
start,
a bait.
and
I
like
don't know.
again, there's a part of me, a part of me is like, listen, I get it, but they never comment on the fact that he has a pacifier.
Right. It's
It's like in the anime and the manga, it makes sense because like he's a baby turned into a man, and he's still and guess what? The pacifier
Yeah.
is actually kind of important.
It's quite
But like
important.
nobody comments on the pacifier. They just like it's so bizarre. It's like this show was like, I would have to imagine completely incoherent to people who have no idea about Yu Yu Hakusho.
yeah, nonsense. It would also be
And I think like all it was just like cheap fucking references.
yes.
Oh look, it's Koenma. Like he's the adult from like the Dark Tournament
Remember
arc.
that?
Oh, you remember that? Yeah. And like nobody comments on like how that's strange,
No
and even
snide
even in the
remarks.
manga and the anime, there's a lot of like everybody's like giving each other shit constantly, especially like I kind of actually like the actor who played Koenma though. I will say, like he kind of had this like very like straight man comic routine persona to him. Like he was like kind of like this dry wit about him that was kind of funny. Aside from the other issues I had with him, but like the whole, also like they changed Spirit World to be kind of like, almost like have like a, I'm not sure the right. It felt like very like
Dragon Ball Z.
like Indian.
Oh.
I was like Indian inspired, like all the elephant statues
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It felt like it was almost like pulling from like different mythology.
It was an interesting
kinda
aesthetic.
strange.
I
Right.
think you really felt the budget in those scenes. It's like, ooh man, they're on a set.
Oh
here.
yeah, because
God damn.
it's just
So
one room.
so
one
odd.
room. Yeah,
When it was, I feel like
Yeah.
that would have been a great time to cut on the budget. Just have him be, pissed off bureaucrat at the desk
Exactly,
stamping papers.
And that big hole.
Also, wait,
subplot.
hold on.
Big ass hole in the city. Yeah.
Yeah, the memory
That
hole.
wasn't there before, was it?
I just realized something. And Nick, you can check me on this, but is George in the manga?
No, he's not. He was added for the end.
Okay, that actually sucks. Because George is one of my favorite characters. I didn't
is
realize
funny.
it till now. I'm like, I know he wasn't in the live action. I know he's in the anime, but then like all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, he's not in the manga.
It's one of the
That's
most
weird.
shocking things about
Wow.
reading the manga that George is not.
His
exist.
comic
They added
beats
him
are
as
so
like
good.
Someone for Koenma
Yeah.
to play off of, basically.
Like George, like for anybody listening, George is just a simple ogre who is Koenma's assistant, and he's
I love
funny.
how mouthy he gets. You know,
He's just
He's ever suffering.
he's a buffoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
wonderful.
They kind of turned Botan into George, or they were trying to for this adaptation,
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right.
but I don't think it worked. It just made Botan a worse
You
character.
didn't like Botan?
Yeah.
No, I didn't like Botan being completely useless and like ditzy and not really helpful in any way.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't crazy about Botan the first time through, so maybe it's just my, my muddled perception. It's like this is not super plussed about it.
Yeah. She does stuff. She's important sometimes. I like her.
Yeah, the whole like what was it? Also, Toguro was like introduced at the end of like episode 2, was it?
Yes. I think they introduced the entirety of Team Toguro at the end of episode 2, which made
Like-
me want to throw up.
That was repulsive.
Which made me want to immediately vomit because I knew exactly what was happening.
Oh shit.
That look, I'm like that legitimately made me angry, and upset. When I saw like Bui and Karasu like walk out of the
Yeah,
fucking hallway,
way
I was
too
like,
early.
Jumping the gun.
I was like, it felt like I was insulted. Because like you have to save them for the Dark Tournament,
Yes.
like because you build up the Toguro brothers, and then it's like, damn, who's gonna be on their team?
Hey, who's even
Oh
crazier?
shit, these guys these guys are fucking crazy, man.
it really just seems like someone just kind of was shown like key scenes from the anime and said, yeah, we'll pick this one, this one, this one. We'll just kind of shove them all together. They won't know. They won't know the difference.
Yeah.
The story suffers when there isn't that passage of time. You know? Yeah, the development is just not there.
Speaking of that, how hard did you guys cry when Genkai died?
So bad.
Curled up in
so
a ball.
It was so sad, man. We spent like 8 minutes with her, dude. That was sad.
It's so insane. That episode 3, I think, was a real turning point where they just stopped even trying to make it anything remotely similar. Yusuke just immediately is paragon of virtue. I will do what I can to protect the town that I love. What the fuck? When was he ever like that? That was never anything even close to how he felt.
He's like, yeah, I would like those teachers to die at that school. That's what they feel about me anyway.
Yeah. Really.
Like, you kind of like, there's something about Yusuke's character. Like, he's an asshole, but there's like parts that come out of him that are like, oh, he's a product of his environment.
Yes, he's a
Like
tormented kid.
like these teachers, nobody believed in him. His mom was like, like an alcoholic, like
sleeping in
possibly
until
like a sex worker who hung out with Yakuza members.
Yes.
Which I would say that's an interesting detail I'm noticing reading the manga. I don't remember in the anime. Is where like she pals around with Yakuza members and she like uses their influence to get Yusuke back in school by having them threaten the principal.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that. Yeah.
In the rewatch.
In the anime,
it's brief.
Is there?
Yeah, it's brief, but it's like a funny little like anecdote about his mom.
Lots of character.
But like he really does he kind of puts up a tough front, but he's kind of like, he's treated like garbage
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Under that hard exterior.
Man, like I think
you guys sound so deflated.
You might say
you guys are just,
he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be some might call him a nuanced character.
I will say since we're on character, the characters in the anime, they acted more like human beings than the human beings in this live action show.
Yeah,
it's so
real.
weird.
Yeah.
Right? And I think a part of like what made
sickening
the original anime so good, is that you had these small details about the characters, animated or shown. Like they would change clothes. They never fucking change clothes in this shit. I was like, God, Yusuke has like nice outfits, or like he had his hair down, before in the anime, and you see him put it up with the gel, like,
Yeah, even
he didn't have the jacket with the shades, and that one part.
Yeah, the yellow tank top with the karate pants, anything.
Yeah, they really felt just like characters. It's not
well.
real
That's
people.
The thing. People know Yusuke for green suit, Kuwabara's blue suit.
They've been reduced to that. It feels, which is unfortunate.
Also, like I noticed at the school, all the kids were wearing green uniforms, right?
Yeah.
But like in the original, like Yusuke, they all wore blue.
Yes.
And Yusuke got in trouble because he was like wearing a green one and he's not supposed to. A small detail for his character, but like it's like in this one, like what Kuwabara was wearing the wrong uniform.
In this universe, Yusuke is a conformist.
But see, he's wearing a T-shirt instead of a button-up under his uniform jacket. He doesn't care.
Oh man. That just makes me angry.
Oh, man. Yes. Ending of episode 2, the beginning of the end. Episode 3.
You're on the slope.
Diarrhea dog shit. Full on
down.
Angry video game nerd. Just piece of shit. Garbage.
Like Toguro walking into Genkai's dojo or whatever. And then I was just like, no, this cannot be happening. Stop.
Get out of there, Genkai.
And then just watch, and then seeing her dead at the end, I'm like, got to be fucking kidding me.
Oh yeah, I mean, and the whole thing too with the Yusuke's really grown up. This time with Genkai, he's really matured. Here's the spirit wave orb.
That blew me away too.
I was so taken aback when he just takes it. He's like, thanks, see ya. Nothing happens.
I'm ready now, thanks.
Like I I have watched that scene from the anime on YouTube more times than I care to admit.
Yeah.
That scene when he's in the cave,
Screaming,
and, like,
bleeding, dying.
and then he's like, but when he's on the ground and he's like watching the little like Pooh trying to get water for him, and he's like, I can't even help myself. I'm so pathetic.
Yeah. It's
You know.
great.
And then like watching him like overcome, and like just be bleeding out and in pain and just like feeling it because he saw he was letting himself down, or even this little like this harmless creature to represent himself, and then for Genkai to just hand it over to him, that was like personally insulting.
Yes. I felt the exact same way when I saw that. I thought they just weren't even going to bother addressing the spirit wave.
Mm-hmm.
Or I didn't think that they would just be like, "Oh, don't worry, we remembered." I would
Yeah,
prefer
right.
it if you did.
Right.
I prefer
Just
it.
kept it to Spirit Gun.
Oh my god, I feel like the fucking. I don't even like
This
I feel like the
was
fucking comic
this
book guy.
was very bad.
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
Yes, episode
God.
4.
Yeah.
This was
Let's see what's
this was
going on.
hard to stomach.
Episode 4
This
is
was-
Yoko Kurama, correct?
That's when I was remember when I was messaging you and I was like, "Oh my god, something happened in episode 4."
Yes,
I'm not going
and
to
I
say what
said,
it is.
"Don't tell me, please."
It was Yoko Kurama. I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding
So
me?"
insane the way that it is dropped with zero fanfare. And what's even crazier, the Yoko Kurama costume looks like a million times better than the Kurama costume. Like it looks more
Like they put more effort.
normal, more human. He looks more human. Like his hair looks realer. It's something
It's his
about
natural
it.
form.
I got a Yoko Kurama here as
Wonderful.
well.
I don't have that one.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
think
do we
that
want to start just talking about like
just
the
the-
introduction to the Dark Tournament? The realization set upon me.
The Dark Tournament, yeah. Yes.
I think when I started to realize, because I know like, okay, fine, they're
Yeah, right.
skipping the same
I
pieces,
knew
are-
that was gonna
fuck
happen.
you, but fine.
it's like-
But then they're doing the I was getting nervous because they were like, okay, they're doing the Yukina rescue
Yeah.
arc. Fine. Okay. But then they're going to fucking Hangman Island.
Yes.
I'm like, whoa.
Too
pump
far.
Brakes.
Yeah.
Why are we
Yeah.
going here?
Too much.
Like, I thought for sure they would like go too. I thought even too fast would be like the season 1 cliffhanger is like, I'll meet you in the Dark Tournament
Yeah.
in 2 months.
Yes, that would have been more acceptable. Better place to
That
stop.
would have been bad, but like still better than this.
something to look forward to.
Like when we saw like just to know what we were I would say robbed of, but in a way maybe it was a blessing. We didn't have to see all these other characters drag through the mud.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jin,
Chew.
and
No noise.
Chew and everybody.
I was mad about that, frankly.
no, we don't have to see that. The producers were actually merciful.
That's the thing, though. Like, these guys clearly understand actions. That would have actually been much better. Even if they were
It's
completely
confusing.
stripped down. There's
Right.
nothing character.
I think as nice as the action could get, I think what failed it, because like action doesn't mean shit if you don't care about the characters that are performing it. Right? So like, yeah, cool, he is doing his
Yes.
fucking shit and Kurama's doing his shit, but like I don't care about either of you in this universe. I've not been given enough
No,
time to care
oh my
about
God.
either of you.
Oh, man. One last gripe from the past. When he cut
when he
his
poked his-
forehead open with the Phantom Blade to get the Jigon Eye, I was like, what the fuck what is this? That's not right. That's not right at all.
Okay, I guess we're not gonna do
Yeah,
the 3
the-
I was
kingdoms
going
arc.
crazy.
Okay.
Where is she going?
Yeah. No.
You guys-
Uh,
I love it. I
Like-
love
I was
how
like
much
twitching and I was foaming at the mouth like a rabid dog.
just it's upsetting. Like it was like I this was like again the one anime I was like, okay, I could kind of see this working, and they blew it. And I think that they either should have done more episodes or just
I think
done
doing less of the story
Yes.
would have been the move.
It reeks of a lack of confidence in the project because they were like, okay, we got to get the most
right.
iconic
Yeah.
villains out now. Everything now. And it's like by doing that, you rob the story of having any impact, any meaning, just because they wanted to rush this stuff out the door for people who like may have watched it, but like barely remember it.
Right.
Oh yeah, the guy with the Terminator
yeah,
looking
the guy
Yeah.
on the Twitter gif with the big smile and the glasses. I know
it
him.
felt like-
Yeah.
It felt like they're trying to test the waters, right, with this 5-episode series.
They failed. They failed the test.
I don't know how the numbers are.
Yeah.
Right? Because if
Sync.
the numbers did well enough.
As Dungeons and Dragoners would say, it's a critical fail.
So
You stab yourself in the head.
both of you were
and die
saying that
instantly.
season 2 was, greenlit. You would not watch?
It would have to be the
You wouldn't even give it a chance.
most obnoxious thing.
Not even if you guys asked me, I would not do it.
I respect it.
That's serious.
Did
I
you-
wouldn't do it.
Did you guys watch
Yeah.
after the credits? Because did you
I did.
notice that Netflix
I
didn't
did,
quite
I
force
did.
you out? So you noticed they had the sequel
What was-
hook.
what was
Did
the
that
sequel
also make
hook?
you want to punch yourself in the
was the
head
sequel
until your
hook?
teeth fell out?
Okay, I have a confession. I made it halfway through episode 5, and it was so upsetting. I just like scrubbed through the rest of it and saw the little
Nice.
picture thing. But I
can't blame
did
you.
It's understandable.
I did get to the I don't know if you guys want to like talk more about
I
the
have
rest
a
of it
few,
first,
few
but,
thoughts.
like,
about
We'll get
it,
to it when we get to it, but
The
it's
dark-
it's you mentioned season 2, so there is a hook.
Yep, and I will not be there.
It's
You
really
put bamboo under my fucking fingernails.
God damn.
I would rather fight a knife edge death match myself. Episode 5.
Holy
terrible.
shit.
The whole thing with Karasu. Rush to shit. Horrible.
Episode 4 was Karasu, I think.
was
right?
it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because episode 5.
That's
was just a
right.
big
That's when they
Totoro
totally
fight.
stopped even trying to be 1990s because they had the giant 3D renders of Hiei versus Bui.
Yeah.
Hiei wins.
Also, can we talk about because I mentioned the Hiei versus Bui fight in the anime, and it being
Yeah.
super impactful. The fact that it happened in a fucking like
I know
back
the
room
settings
for
for
2
these
seconds.
fights
Of this-
were so.
in a small room, and like we
Oh,
don't know what the fuck this is on his arm. He just all of a sudden has it
Yeah. Terrible.
and uses it. It's so there's like it robs every
Mhm.
ounce
And
of
meaning.
impact from
Yeah,
that moment.
Totally.
The Dragon of the Darkest Flame is the dumbest fucking name in the world, but it's supposed to be the coolest fucking thing in the world, despite that.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
God.
it wasn't.
And yeah, and he just uses it on Bui. It's like I at first like I was in such like denial during these fights because I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
maybe they're gonna
have
get
a
to the
rematch of
tournament
Dark
stage
Tournament
and
in season
actually
2.
have the audience
But
and the
like
announcers.
and when Bui like took his armor off, I was like,
This is it, dude.
oh,
Should not be happening. Yeah,
this is it.
They had the opportunity. Karasu could have kept the mask on. No blonde Karasu. No crazy form. No mad bombs. Whatever. But instead, we got full on Yoko Kurama.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's
And the
there.
death plants.
He showed up. Yeah.
He's there, and he was there with no problems. He's like,
Yeah.
all right.
Man, I guess I'll
I
take
have
this
to.
form.
Yeah, like he didn't find out about the magic box or something. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't box. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Wait, hold on a second. Where's Urashima? Hang on. But no, it's. I mean, Kurama. I feel like Kurama and Hiei definitely suffered the most out of all the characters in terms of having negative
Mhm.
development.
Serious.
I feel like they
Yeah.
became less interesting as it went on somehow.
I feel like Kurama got a little more than Hiei because like the whole thing with his
Yeah.
mom. At least we got that, and like we know Hiei has like his long lost sister, but that felt lesser to me than
Yeah,
like, even
underdeveloped.
Kurama's
That
Yeah.
too even
connection.
felt like it
Yeah.
was a throwaway line to justify him being there in this, rather than his reason for being.
Also, like I didn't need to have Keiko get captured too and have her make friends with
Yukina,
Yukina.
No. Oh, that's what I was saying. That was the thing that I thought was fucking crazy in episode 5. Was when Kuwabara was goofing off with the I don't know,
The reptilian
from Resident
size
Evil.
off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When he's like, Keiko, watch out, fucking full on
That
drop
was
kicks her
great.
both legs.
Yeah.
To
Get
save
out of the way.
Yukina.
yeah. She's
Right in
like,
the hip.
"Ow."
Yeah, it's like, Kuwabara would never hit a girl. What are you doing?
They did love the choreographers loved the running and jumping kick. Right, Yusuke does that shit like 3 times
did
in
like-
the first
yeah.
episode. And then-
It's cool. It's cool.
Goodness. Yeah. Episode.
But yeah, episode 5 is the big fight with Toguro. Did you guys love his
Toguro
look?
is just.
So you said you scrubbed through episode 5, right?
I watched half of it.
Okay, so does that before or after the fake out where they treat it like, oh, it's going to end like the initial fight at Tarukane's place where he gets impaled on the like stick or whatever, and then he throws the match.
Yeah.
And then he's like, just
yeah, I saw the part. I saw where he like did the fake out by killing Kuwabara.
No, before that.
Oh, before then?
Because they have the very prominent giant
sticking
metal
out,
spiked rod sticking out. Yusuke's trying to impale him in like the
okay.
original thing. And then he gets impaled by it and he says, I was going to throw this match, but then I thought, I don't want to. Let's just go all out now.
Okay. Sound logic.
Right. And then that's when he goes 100%. Disgusting.
I mean, people change their minds every day on things. You know, it's understandable. He might have once thought he would do that, and then decided not to.
Yeah, that's
It's not crazy.
That's what happens.
Nice.
I was gonna do it, but then I didn't want to. Although, Sakio is
I will
sitting up
say
there with Koenma, who's making some
I loved
wild
Sakio's
bets.
mullet in this live action adaptation. I was like, oh, that mullet commands a scene. But
Yeah, Sakio, I really like that character. I didn't hate him in this version. He wasn't quite Patrick Bateman enough though. I feel like it's like in the original he kind of has that like American Psycho vibe a little bit.
He's
and then like in this one he just sort of like
I
really
lose.
love gambling and I'll bet my life, you know.
You could say that Sakio is even more demonic than some of the demons.
Really get you thinking.
Yeah, like even like in the anime and manga when they have that backstory for him where he's like, yeah, I grew up in a pretty loving family.
Yeah.
You know, I had 4 siblings and I was a little bit different, so I started torturing frogs and then dogs and cats.
I started
and then
working at a vet to
Jesus.
kill animals.
Yeah. Like that was like everything from him was completely absent here. Of course, I mean,
yeah, no surprise.
but like, and then him like opening that spirit world portal. Like
It felt like such a
I hated
meme,
every scene
because
of
it's just
that.
like, I need my hole to get bigger. Like, I need a bigger hole. Just like, goddamn, dude. Okay.
But like seeing him with like the that ugly CG room of
The
like
little
all the
flittering
demons, like the
things,
little
they're
like
so
Makai
weird.
insects flying through that.
Yeah.
I hated that. God, I hated that.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know what exactly they're trying to portray him as for this. I guess just random megalomaniacal gambler.
The
guy?
way
I
the
don't
Dark
know.
Tournament was portrayed here reminds me a lot of like the Tekken live action movie. Like the way they had the King of Iron Fist tournament. Like there's no grandeur. There's like it's completely
I had no
lacking.
idea
Oh,
there was one.
It's not great. I think there are 2 Tekken movies hilariously.
Just random fights.
But the just I don't know. I don't know if the setting bothered you guys as much as it did me. Just for this last episode, it's like fucking hell. You know,
It's hard. By the end, it was hard to tell what was bothering me because it was all so offensive.
yeah, fair enough.
I think, like I said, I got through about half, maybe like 50 to 60% of the way through, and I'm like,
Okay.
fuck this. I'm gonna. I just scrubbed and watched the playhead
Yeah.
with the little preview over it. I'm like, okay,
Did you
there they are,
Did you at
in
least-
Spirit Road.
hear the
Genkai-
spirit gun? Did you hear him shout ray gun or spirit gun? Or did you miss that?
I think so.
I felt nothing when you said that.
I don't. Yeah.
I felt no emotion. My heart
Oh.
stopped beating, if anything. It shrunk 3 sizes.
Yeah, I think that seeing them, I don't know. Yeah, I saw the bit with like they were leaving the island, and like I was like thinking about like in the original anime and stuff, like that last episode or whatever when they're leaving the island. It feels like it really feels like they capture the essence of like a big vacation coming to an end. Like you're checking out of the hotel room, you're going back. You feel like you're kind of like you've grown and changed by the experience, and like you're saying goodbye to people and stuff, and like there was just like no impact here. It was just like I go just go away. Ship off.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to see you again.
Wow.
Bye.
There you go.
And that was the end, right? Like that was
that was the end. Was them on the boat, and they were like,
they cut to credits.
What a
and
hard
then,
fought battle. It's all
and
over.
then the Marvel post credit scene at the end.
The sequel hook, which all
was
fans will know.
Elder
on
Toguro,
the beach, yeah.
still alive.
Still alive, sending out his dark energy signal for who knows who. Perhaps a certain Shinobu Sensui in season 2.
And that was it.
What do you think that's going to be like? He just like gets on Live Leak and goes crazy.
Sensui?
Because
that's what
Chapter Black was just like a videotape of like Live Leak.
It's Faces of Death.
Yeah.
But with demons.
And he. Oh
right.
God.
I
don't want to see it. I don't even want to see a fucking
Incredible.
trailer
The
or
visual,
anything from
I
it
love
because
it.
like.
Well, Chapter Black, I'd say, is the best arc in Yu Yu Hakusho. It laid all the groundwork for Hunter x Hunter. Territories are just Nen, basically.
Yeah.
And Shinobu Sensui is definitely the most interesting antagonist to me. And I would hate to see him be completely wasted and ruined as crazy guy with multiple personalities is mad at the world because he saw a beheading video.
Right. And what's our
that's what it's
grade?
gonna be.
You know, out of 5, what are you giving?
0.
Netflix's
Out of 5?
Action Yu Yu Hakusho, yeah.
1 for episode 1.
1 star out of 5. One episode was.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
You can watch.
One, like I feel like half a star. Like let's be honest, it could have
certainly
been
could have
worse.
been worse.
It
It certainly could have
technically
been worse.
could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
Like,
it could have been
if they
like Death Note.
if
live
they
action.
condensed it to a single movie, like a 90-minute, 2-hour movie. Yeah, that would have been bad. If they did the same story condensed, we had 5 episodes that were 40 to 50 minutes long, so it was a bit longer than a movie, but like
1 out of 5.
yeah, 1 out of 5 feels
Wow.
appropriate.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Yeah, Nick.
Yeah, watch the first one and then I don't know, make a fan film. It'll have more joy, more appreciation for
I
the
will say,
series.
yeah,
than
the lack
anything
of joy
from
really
Netflix.
got to me with this adaptation.
Oh, what about you, Sam? What I feel like you've been commenting on our vitriol. It makes me think that you maybe
I
didn't
don't
hate
think
it quite
I,
as much.
I hated it as much.
Prove yourself.
I mean, it certainly wasn't great, but I don't think. I
Okay.
think, right, and you're gonna think this is shocking. I think that this series coming out
I'm bracing
was-
myself.
overall a step in the right direction for anime adaptations, because I think it could have gone so wrong, right? I think it could have gone.
It did.
It did go right.
It did go so wrong.
What do you mean could have
I
gone so
suppose.
wrong?
I mean, nobody got killed on set. I guess that's good.
Fair enough.
If only.
There was no Alec Baldwin with a prop gun. That didn't happen.
Yeah, no
okay.
John Landis helicopter.
Alec Baldwin is like, I thought the ray gun was fake. I thought it
Blow
was.
a hole through him.
Yeah, I didn't mean to kill the Toguro guy. No, I'll let you continue.
So now you got me. Now you got me thinking. Like maybe it isn't a good step overall.
I mean, did you see the
didn't.
One Piece live action?
Right? I heard that's good.
Okay, and like I don't know. Yeah, like I thought it was actually quite good, and I'm a big One Piece fan as well. Like I've been a fan of One Piece longer than Yu Yu Hakusho even. So like, and I had no faith in that, and by all I don't know, somehow it worked. Like I teared up at the end.
That
I was
movie.
like, it was like, it wasn't like.
But it made you feel
amazing,
something.
But it was pretty,
Yeah, no, that's
it was pretty great in some
merited,
ways.
yeah.
I really do think that because I think like I was like I felt so moved because it was like I couldn't believe that like it was working on this caliber. Because like the only other anime, like I said, the Kenshin movie was
Yeah,
pretty decent. The Speed Racer movie by the Wachowskis was also good. But Speed Racer is like
Yeah.
a different kind of it's a different
Sure,
caliber,
sure.
you know, of anime.
all right. Yeah, I will say,
Yeah,
as
I
a
think,
fan of action, right? This wasn't completely terrible. As a fan of Yu Yu
yeah.
Hakusho, not very palatable.
Yeah, because it's like even when I talk about condensing stuff, like the One Piece live action, it like not everything happened, but you could tell they had a lot of long talks about okay, what can we move, what can we cut. If we have to cut something, can we move this piece over here to make it work and move that over here and move this? And it somehow just worked out. Like certain things like were very evidently cut, but like the pieces were moved around so strategically that it felt very
right. And I think
smart
that kind of touches upon what
do.
Nick was saying with like the flaws of this adaptation is that as opposed to having a very clear, you know, understanding of how you're going to put every piece of the puzzle together, it was just a greatest hits approach.
It was,
and that never works. Those
it's
never
made by
work.
people who have,
You know?
they have no love for the series. They have no appreciation for the series. They could not give less of a fuck about Yu Yu Hakusho. Is the impression I got from it, and this should just let me do the whole thing. Honestly, just let me.
Truthfully, like honestly, I think like I remember thinking like I would have loved to have been a part of that in some capacity, like writing it or being a part of like some element of like making a live action Yu Yu Hakusho, because like the One Piece one again is another, just to use that example again, was made by very very passionate fans. Like the director, the showrunner is a massive One Piece fan. Like he directly coincided with like the creator of One Piece, who was also involved. The casting was amazing.
Yeah, the cast themselves were such big fans of the property, right?
Yeah, and like I don't doubt that. Like I would not be surprised if the actors who were in this Yu Yu Hakusho live action also probably like it.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like they probably grew up on it or watched it at some point in their lives. I would be willing to bet. I just think I'm like, this is like, I think that maybe Japan doesn't always get the best budget for this stuff, because like part of me is like, I can't imagine that they wanted it to be only 5 episodes.
Yeah.
You know, if I had to guess, I would say they probably ideally wanted it to be longer, but they only had so much money because like, yeah, like you said, like certain areas you could really feel the budget, you know. And I think like if they threw more money at it, maybe more time, it could have been good. But like, again, Kuwabara didn't have a pompadour, so how much does that cost? Come on,
at the end of the day,
they
these are
really
the
would have
important
done, you know.
things.
And again, like if they just like laid into like the 90s, like I don't know, like the 90s
aesthetic,
like,
the attitude,
fucking like vibe of it all. Yeah. Like that really could have been something, because like people like they know that era, even if you don't live in Japan. I feel like you kind of like
that's
get
such
the
a huge
vibe,
part
you know,
of the
like
original series charm is like it captures that aesthetic perfectly.
Yeah.
It is that aesthetic because it's a product of that time. Yeah, it's
because it's
that.
like it's of exactly, it's of that of that era, but like
you know what? Yeah, I take it back. I'm with these guys. It was a piece of shit.
Yeah, finally.
Thank you.
This guy's talking some
Thank
sense.
you.
You know, I was trying to give it a chance.
Like it's like do I
Don't
and
ever.
like I went into this completely blind. I didn't see anything on social media about it. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch this I didn't hear a single peep of anyone say anything about it. I wanted to view it completely of my own mind. No preconceived notions at all. And I hated it.
Yeah.
I fucking hated it.
I also wanted to just not look at anything, not know anything about it, just give it a chance, be nice, try. And it was thoroughly disappointing, and I feel like I mostly wasted my time.
I will say,
and
today was the last day of my winter vacation, and spending 5 hours of it on the Yu Yu Hakusho live action feels pretty bad. Like,
oh, that's depressing. Yeah.
This will be the last kind of live action anime bit we cover. But recently I saw headlines on Twitter, or just tweets circulating that there was a rumored Naruto live action in the works. Are there
Who cares?
Are there
They
any?
can do whatever they
That's
want.
been
for that.
years. That's
Thank you,
been
Drew.
happening for years, man.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I can talk about
please.
that because I was 12, I think, and I was like,
Oh, okay.
What the hell?
Might be
make a live
typical.
action?
Might be
That's
I
so
think
Dr.
you might have
Mario.
just-
Yeah.
Maybe you saw that picture, that meme image of like Scott or not Scott,
Yeah,
fucking
like
Michael
fucking
Cera as
Edward
Naruto,
Cullen as Sasuke.
and like
It what I saw that, and that's what made me
Yeah,
search to see if it was real or not. And that's
Yeah,
when I saw
yeah.
it. It's like Paramount has
Okay.
been taught
Well,
in the
then it
works
might
like a
be
Naruto movie.
classic, typical internet bullshit. But if
I
it was
mean-
going to
And I-
happen, what lessons do you think that could be taken from this adaptation that you would give them?
If Naruto is a better adaptation of Yu Yu Hakusho, I will eat my own fist. I do not give a fuck about Naruto, and it is. I don't care anymore about live action anime. Stop doing it.
They should just make it as worse as possible. Cast
mean-
Michael Cera as Naruto.
That'd be good.
They went from
Let's
live
go,
action
yeah.
to
Have-
anime.
Have Edgar Wright direct it.
Did the opposite.
they've been threatening that Akira live action for like years
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
The
No, thank
American
you.
Akira.
Yeah, and I think Naruto I have very mixed feelings about, because like I was like going through like some old stuff because I used to be really into it, and
Yeah.
like because I read the manga and stuff, and the anime is kind of, you know, obviously it's kind of has its problems, but like it was kind of the same thing with you. It's the same studio, I think, as Yu Yu Hakusho anime,
Yeah, Perot.
but with way more filler
Yeah.
and shit. But they had the same thing of like you could kind of tell when an anime or like when an episode was
yeah.
going to be like
When
crazy
they got money that
because
week.
of like off the bat because of how it looked, you know. Yeah, exactly, yeah. And like I do think that there is like a really fun like world building element to the world of Naruto that they just shit the bed on later on. Because like the later chunk of episodes were really like just all over the place. But like the early stuff where it's like the world building and the characters and all that kind of thing.
that is the general
kinda
consensus
works,
I,
you know?
I see these days. Is people really enjoy the vibes of early Naruto. You know, before it got, you know,
Yeah.
the power ceiling got so high and it got so absurd.
when he was
Yeah, and
supposed
I
to
think like
announce
I think that
casts.
it could work if they did a live action version of that, but it would have to be
Would you prefer a series or a
lot
standalone
better?
movie, series of movies? What do you think? What do you think would work?
I don't know. Like honestly, after seeing this, it's like if I put Yu Yu Hakusho up against the Kenshin movies, I mean the Kenshin movies are better. So maybe they just have to do like a series of movies
Maybe
or
if like
something.
arcs can be
I don't know.
cleanly divided into like 2-hour movies as opposed to
Yeah. I think it's possible, but like again, I'm not like attached to the
No, of
idea.
course.
If it
It
sucks, it
most
sucks. Oh
likely
well, we still got
would.
the yeah.
Just
Yeah.
stop making them. Use that money to make anything else in the world. I don't care. Make plastic bags and dump them directly in the ocean. Make anything else.
And there you have it. That's our thoughts on Netflix's Yu Yu Hakusho adaptation. Any closing bits from you gentlemen?
I feel like I'm a
about
Disney
almost,
adult complaining about like the live action Beauty and the
Yeah,
Beast.
I know.
Stuff.
I'm like sitting here like I'm not the intended audience. I'm 33 years old. But or you know what? Maybe I am.
think we are the
actually.
intended audience.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, no, fuck that.
Because
No, I'm
literally
valid.
nothing in this would make sense if you haven't seen the original show.
Yeah. No, fuck this. No, I think like again, we still have the original anime and manga. They can never take that from us. We still have
Yeah,
our toys and collectibles.
All right. Kuwabara will always have his pompadour. You know, it's not going away.
As long as he stays in the box.
If he's was that what broke the pompadour?
No, it's the stand. He'll fall
Oh,
over.
okay.
He'll topple.
Right. And we are coming back from that short break with our guest Kevin Podas. Thank you for being here.
that?
You know,
Yeah. Thanks for making me relive my trauma.
yeah, we were just talking.
Wasn't it fun? Wasn't it great? Like,
No, it was therapeutic because I feel like I've been like carrying this on my shoulders for so long,
Yeah.
like about a month maybe.
Yeah.
And coming here and, you know, talking it out with you guys, you know, we're kind of trauma bonding.
yeah. I'm
I think it's been helpful for me
Exactly.
to move on from this horrible adaptation.
I'm literally shaking from the after effects. You know, I always thought people said that. I was like, oh, I would never shaking over something on a screen, but you know, they're very valid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You are
Here's
so
the video
valid.
ditch. We love to
Thank you.
provide this sort of
Thank you.
space for.
As long as it's regarding live action
you for
anime
that. Thank you.
adaptations.
Because, like, this is, like, for one of those things, like, we, for Thought Cops, we've been doing this, like, Fire Bros, like, spin-off, like, we review different stuff. There are, like, some things I'm like, I'm not going to make them watch. like the Cowboy Bebop, I watched that, and I'm like, I'm not going to subject Grant to that. That's cruel.
Doesn't have the stomach for it. For sheer garbage
that's what we're
for
here
hours
for.
on hours.
Love garbage.
No, I mean, it's a big ask.
I mean, and that's.
But this was like, I don't know.
I would have never watched it if it wasn't called Yu Yu Hakusho, and that's the thing,
Well, why don't we move on to something more pleasant?
Right, something pleasant.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lisa,
please take it away,
painful
Nick.
RPG. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of Lisa. I have been for a long time. I often cosplay the character Buckets when I get the chance, when I can show that off. And one day I hope the Dingling will respond to my messages and acknowledge that I exist. That would be really great. I think it's a great game. I think it's probably, out of all the mother likes that people were saying came into existence around the same time, around like 2014. It's my favorite. I'd even put it above Undertale, shockingly enough.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of story, even the music is really amazing, and I think it's.
Oh my god!
In terms of a single man project, maybe the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, Kevin, what's your history with this?
Yeah, for
you
a
just
long...
played it for the first time, or okay?
Yes. So like, I it's been recommended to me over the years. I've always been interested. I'm not a big PC gamer. I never have like invested the time and effort and money into having a gaming PC. I know like Lisa doesn't like pull a ton of resources or anything like that.
It's an RPG
but like,
game.
Yeah, I never played it. But I think it was it on this show or Thought Cops? I'm not sure. I think when Nick, you mentioned that like it was like the remaster was coming to like consoles, I was like, okay. And like as soon as I finished like recording, I like booted up the eShop on the Switch, and there it was.
Look at that free advertisement.
Nice.
And I bought it. Yeah. I bought it that second, and I started playing it shortly after. So I never played the original. I did considerable research on this because like this is one of those games where I played it, and when I was done with it, I was like spending hours looking up things about the game.
How to get a different ending.
I was looking up, like I didn't know, because I played the Lisa the Painful, I played Lisa the Joyful, and I didn't know there was like a Lisa the First.
Yes, there's a Yumi Nikki clone.
And that's what it kind of seemed like, yeah. I kind of was a little bit frustrated that it was, it felt like possibly essential to understanding the story a little bit. Because I was like, I don't know if I just have like a bad reading comprehension or something for this, but like the whole time I'm like, I didn't like realize like certain things about who Lisa was until I watched a playthrough of Lisa the First. I'm like, oh my god, I wish I knew this before.
Right, with the little girl cropping up constantly, hallucinations.
Yeah. Because like I thought when I played the game, I thought that was like maybe like Brad's daughter or something.
Yes, that's also what I thought. But
then when I found the truth out, it was like so much more disturbing.
Okay, so for viewers and listeners, could you give them like what would the like basic premise of Lisa if someone asked you like what's this game about?
All the women in the world disappear, and society immediately descends into like a Mad Max hell.
Oh.
Yeah, gay Fist of the North Star.
That's actually fantastic. Okay.
So Fist of the North Star.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. I didn't realize that was the setting because I myself have not taken the plunge.
Yeah, but instead of like nuked out Japan, it's just regular Midwest with no women.
Fucking hell zone.
Desert hellhole. Yeah.
Based off of some suburb in Colorado,
shit,
apparently.
Okay. It's Olathe, where he's born and raised, I believe.
Yeah, no, I went down a rabbit hole with this game big time after I finished it, and that's how I knew that I was like, okay, I really like this, because I was like researching the creator, found out he's like a karate guy.
Yes, his demonstrations are amazing.
I watched that because I looked at him. I'm like, why is this like? Does this guy have the same name as him? I'm like,
The
wait a
guy?
second. This is the guy
This
who
is
made the
Dingling.
game. It could not
Very
believe
handsome
that.
guy too.
Karate guy.
Yeah, and like,
Interesting.
Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like, like this game, like the app, it didn't like hook me immediately. Like I liked it, but like it wasn't until like the further I got in, and like after I sat with it more, I was like, that was like really deeply
Yeah,
affecting
what pushes
in a
this
lot of
above
ways.
the other Mother Likes You said? Like, what's better about this than Undertale?
Brad
I'm
is
trying to think
his own character. You are not
I mean,
Brad.
fair.
Yeah. There's like something else I'm trying to like
What's the
pinpoint.
sauce?
Like I
Yeah,
like
no,
Undertale,
sure.
don't get me wrong,
Same.
but like Undertale is like I'm trying to think of the right way to
More
phrase
anime?
this. No, it has this sort of like early 2010s Tumblr vibe
Is it
to
the
it.
whimsy of
Yeah.
it, or like?
Where like just the doggo kind of stuff, like, and again, I understand it's a product of its time. That's where whatever I can forgive it to some extent, but just something about like the vibe and the atmosphere of Lisa is so
It's its own.
captivating, and it's like it because I think like and you see this way more nowadays, but too many people are influenced by the social media sphere around how people talk and act around them, and it permeates their work to a point that like is annoying as fuck to me sometimes. But like this guy Dingling,
Incredible.
he feels so detached from a lot of that, and I think that makes it a better
Okay.
product.
Oh, okay.
I think like I think like the combat in Undertale is like maybe a little bit more fun or unique in some way, but something like just like there were like I did have like small gripes with the game. I wish I had a map. I
Yeah.
found myself getting lost a lot in certain like or backtracking way too much for some parts.
That's
like,
the
moreover,
that's the
like-
pain.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, now you're getting it.
If you call your game that, okay, yeah. No, I think like I like the character of Brad is like so good.
Yes.
It's like, and I feel like it was dark in ways that I did not expect.
Yeah,
Yes.
from the premise alone,
Very
it
much so.
sounds
It makes,
very dark.
It's the premise alone is the most lighthearted thing about the game.
Yeah,
It's one of the
makes
funniest
freaking
games.
Last of Us look like VeggieTales.
He's not joking. He's not joking, folks. This man's
I mean,
not joking.
it's easy to make the comparison, but like it really did feel like I was like shocked that I was like, this is like more barbaric than like the fucking Last of
Yes.
Us.
The things that he can get away with the RPG Maker 2
Less is
sprites,
more.
from
Yeah.
the just ability, yes, just using his ability as a writer, his ability to make you believe these characters have actual like character, they have their own agency, they have their own wants and desires in this fucked up world. It all makes sense and it's all very good, and you want to see and know more about them. And you want to see like why they are the way they are, why are they so fucked up, why are they so crazy.
Yeah.
Cool. It's like I imagine it's like how Fear and Hunger is like the hot
Hugh
new
knows about that
game.
one.
And that's in a, yeah, that's Hugh. You're a big RPG Maker guy.
Yeah.
You played Lisa and Fear and Hunger, right?
Yeah, I've played both of them.
Fear and Hunger has like very little in terms of character development in the first one, right? You're basically a blank slate.
Yeah, well, it's mainly all background and Dark Soul style.
Right, item
You
description
get all the
reading.
information. Yeah,
That kind of thing.
and there's some little backstory cutscenes, but yeah, a lot of it you're going to be putting together after you've played.
Yes, and I feel like it's similar in that it's an equally like dark, miserable setting, but Lisa is able to take that setting and really emphasize the painful part by having you use these characters that you really care about. Like, obviously, not like you're playing as Brad. Brad can't die. Everyone else can die. Terry can die, the first person you get, the person who's the first one to try and be your friend, who's attached to you. He loves you, even. He's maybe the only person who does.
Like, really quick, I want to say about that, though, is like, and this is like something like, I think the further I got into the game, I understood why they chose this way to use the mechanic. But like, I think when they started introducing me to the side characters like Terry and Nern, and stuff, I was like, okay, this is like a Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest or something. These are like the characters we have with us.
Yeah.
But then it was
And then it
like
kept going.
there were so many possible party members. I was kind of like I personally prefer like a more focused like these are the core cast of characters. We're gonna learn about all of them through the journey. But I understand why they did it this way because there was parts of the game where like they can permanently die.
Yes.
Or you can gamble someone's life
Yeah.
in certain segments of the game.
For porno magazines, there's the currency.
I see.
Right,
I see.
right,
I
right.
forgot about
I
that.
understand. Wow.
But like I still love the like I think like like a Nern was one of my favorite characters. Like his like long anecdotes and stuff.
You know what's
and that song that plays too.
kind of funny, since you said you've only played the definitive edition. In the original game, Nern's only ever cutscene, the only time he ever speaks is when you first recruit him. He never again speaks after that.
Really?
Yeah, so you actually got to see the full effect of what he's supposed to be, the giant, like, hour-long cutscenes
Wow.
from the fireside.
And it was super funny. Super funny. Just like complaining about like his wife he didn't
Yes,
really
he's
love
like
or something.
3 out of
He's, like,
10
an annoying
wife.
neighbor. Yeah, and that brings me to my other point about the game is like it not only was it disturbing and dark, but it was really fucking funny.
It's really funny.
Like I laughed out loud playing it, which I can't say I
There are
do
very
for many
few.
games. But it was like the writing was funny. Some of the visual gags are funny. Like of course like when you climb up that giant rope.
Oh, the giant middle finger?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like actually, like my girlfriend also like recommended the game to me, and she's like, "Oh, you gotta get to this one part," and like she she has like a video recording of me like
Excellent.
climbing the rope and getting to the top, and like my reaction of it. I'll have to find
Yeah.
find it if you want to see it, but like
Yeah,
Splice
by all
right
means,
there,
I'll
yeah.
splice it right in.
yeah, and it was just like there's so many like moments of this game. Like it's so bizarre. Like all the dialogue the characters have. Like it really feels like they took what was so good about Earthbound was the
Yes.
wacky
Off the
dialogue,
wall, wacko.
but they understood it. Like I feel like a lot of
Yes.
stuff like they like it, but they don't understand how to properly
Yeah.
implement it in a different way. This game did. Like there was this one part where like you just walk into this tent and this random NPC's in there and he just like screams at you and he says like, "What the fuck are you living for?"
Yeah. And then you just
And then it's like that's
immediately
all it is, and just like it, like there's like such like absurd moments like that really pull you in so
yes,
much.
You really get sucked into Olathe.
Yeah, and like yeah, we said the music and stuff. Like even like, oh man, like I
And the
loved
music,
it.
the music was composed.
Did not
It's all
disappoint.
one guy, right? Yeah.
Entirely by Dingling.
That's
Yes.
that's
Going
really
under the
great.
name Widley to Diddley.
Wow.
He said that he composed everything in, I think, a month on a trial version of
On
Fruity
Fruity
Loops.
Loops.
Yes, Fruity Loops.
Man,
Inspiring stuff. Those kinds of stories about creativity under the
really,
pressure
it really
of
is,
like,
yeah.
producing something.
I know.
yeah, 100%.
Like, why am I not doing that? I should do that.
Go get some free
He,
trial.
he makes it sound so easy.
Yeah,
Okay.
what the hell?
Well, every time I hear Nick or someone else talking about this game, it does sound more and more interesting. I didn't realize how grim the premise and the concept was.
Yeah, and I don't want to
It,
give
yeah,
like,
it
too
also
much
kind of
away.
seems like the game where the
It-
less
it-
you know,
it's-
the better.
It is. You want
Yeah.
to know, you want to experience as much as you can, fresh and new, so you can get the full impact,
Oh.
and you won't regret it. If you
And like the semi sequel's also good.
Joyful, yeah. Try
Yeah,
that.
it's a shorter experience, but it's like
Yeah.
And
different.
when you say shorter,
Yeah,
how long? How long
Nice.
is the main?
yeah,
game?
yeah.
Would you think?
Main game, I think it can run like 12 hours if you want to do everything
For the painful or the joyful?
for the painful.
Yeah, I think I put in like probably like 10 to 15 hours,
Yeah.
and like the joyful, maybe like
Okay.
5.
Yeah. Although the joyful does have a really, I don't even understand how to do it. Apparently, there's a whole secret, super secret ending that I still haven't figured out, where you have to do very, very specific, like my uncle knows a guy kind of random you under the truck shit to get.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I'm sure someone's posted a guide at this point, but when it first came out, I just had all these random, I was like, what do I
Okay.
do with
You
this
said
shit?
there's a pseudo sequel. is out right now. Oh, okay, I got you.
That's
got you.
the
Well,
joyful.
the joyful is like, I mean, I guess I say pseudo because it's like, it's
Okay,
just like
gotcha.
Nick said, it's more of an epilogue, I guess.
Yeah, it was part of the Kickstarter was that he would do
Nice.
a short little epilogue
Okay.
follow up to the game, and that's what the joyful became.
Oh, you know what? That's another way that Lisa's better than Undertale. They had a better self-insert goal because I think almost every single character that wasn't originally planned to be included in Lisa was a Kickstarter backer, self-insert,
Oh, really?
which is shocking because they didn't completely try to take over the project.
Maybe
with
they
their
were
own
like
weird
well vetted.
interests.
You know, it's like, oh, I can use this shit, but others.
You know, there was actually like there was a certain boss fight,
The Jim
and I was
Sterling.
like, no, not that one.
Oh.
It was the wrestling.
I like that one.
It was when you were in like the whole wrestling
Yeah.
camp area, and it was I'm like, these guys look really familiar, and it was Eric Badur and Brian Abu Chakra from Mega 64,
Yeah.
and it was like Sweet Boy. It was like Sweet Boy Eric and like Brian something or like King Brian
I
whatever.
know
And I'm like,
these
wait a
people.
second. I googled it, and I found. I found the podcast clip where they were talking about, like, yeah,
That's
we're in this game
awesome.
called Lisa, I guess. It was from like 10 years ago. Yeah, like the guy reached out to us and asked if we would like be in the game.
You're like, oh, my friends are in the game.
That was
Yeah.
just like one of those like, oh, what a small world
hilarious
moments.
legacy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I know it
Yeah.
is very bizarre playing it still and seeing like all those
Yeah.
like I think the super best
Yeah,
friends.
there's a lot of like cameos. Yeah, that's what I saw, and I was like, what the hell?
Jim
I didn't
Sterling.
realize it at first, and Jim Sterling. That was my first ever exposure to it, and it like, I don't know. I've never trusted Jim Sterling since.
Yeah, same.
Like, I think the person in the game is them.
Who was Jim Sterling in the game?
Slave Lord Jim on Garbage Island.
Slave
if you
Lord
did that side
Jam on
quest.
Garbage Island. You could forget.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
No, forgive me.
Yes, or Dismal Island. It's an island
Dismal.
with
Yeah,
one.
You gotta buy like a map from some guy.
Yes,
It wasn't the was that the
there's Garbage Island, Dismal Island, and Resort Island. And Resort Island is the one with all the like in-game lore. If you're playing on Painful, it opens a whole new area. Just a good incentive to do that if you haven't.
yeah, no, I was thinking of like the one with the hotel or whatever.
Yeah, that's Resort Island. Dismal
Okay,
Island is literally just one house at the top of a very long staircase, and it's just Jim Sterling.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I must have missed that
It's a
one.
very scary moment of the game.
It is. It is. The things he tries to do to Brad, it's revolting.
Wait, was that with the ghost or whatever?
The dancing guy in the dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan. Yeah, that was the Jim
Certified
Sterling
Jim
moment.
Sterling.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Has
I did go
Dingling
there. Yeah.
Done anything since, or
Yeah.
He's been working on a game allegedly called Ninja Tears for a long, long time, but there's been no word on it. And maybe someday he'll come on and he'll tell us all about it.
all right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
You got to get him on and like push him to finish.
I
like,
know.
You know.
They just keep sending him pictures of me dressed as characters. Like, look, I'm a real fan.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know what that, I don't know what to think of that, but like I'm sure like anything he'll do will be like interesting.
Yeah, it seems
Of
like he has a
some-
really
it'd be
unique,
good enough,
writing voice,
Yeah.
and then as well as like game design philosophy.
Hmm.
Not afraid to make things obtuse
Yeah,
or punish
yeah.
players, which is I think in the mainstream game development sphere is like so frowned upon. So it's nice to, have that.
Yeah, he definitely like has some things where it's like what the fuck, man.
Yeah.
But like also it wasn't like so. I think it's like if you don't take away too much of my
Yeah, some
progress, I don't
push is
really care.
good, right? But
Right.
Like if I
Yeah.
spend like, if I spend like 5 real-time minutes climbing a rope, and the top is just like a middle finger, like that's fine. I'll get over it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, this generation.
great game. Thank you for the recommendation. Thank you for letting me know that the new version was out. And yeah, I recommend it to anybody listening.
I know,
who
right?
hasn't played it.
My review will
Sam?
come one of these days, and it's
Yeah.
not super long, right? Yeah.
Gotta hop off Disco Elysium one of these days.
No, it's
I
not.
suppose
It's
we
not.
can move on from Lisa, and our final topic of the day It was just
Sure.
2023 was a great year for Like a Dragon / Yakuza. I don't think finally. I think
Finally.
they've had good years since 2017. But,
Finally, the day in the sun.
yeah. Kevin, were you able to catch either of the games that came out last year from RGG Studios? Okay.
I sadly was not. Yeah, I haven't been able to get like, because I'm debating. Like, I know this is probably a larger question. I already know what Nick's gonna say, but I was like on the fence of like, when I have the money for it, I'm like, should I get a Steam Deck or a PS5? Because I want to experience the future of the Like a Dragon series and its full potential.
I played Like a Dragon Gaiden
And-
on PS5. Can recommend. I mean, all of the RGG stuff that came out on PS5 runs very well.
Runs quite well on the Steam Deck, except for, well, I can't say that, I guess.
I guess like I mean like these games are not exactly graphically intensive. Like as much as I love them, they don't look great. Like when I first played Yakuza 0, that was the first one I played on PS4.
Yeah,
And
it's
like,
not quite up
this
to
looks
the AAA polish. Yeah.
It was.
Which, yeah,
And I
it
guess
was.
Yeah. Like don't get me wrong, like they're not like bad, but I wouldn't call them like good looking games.
Yeah.
And honestly, that is totally fine.
Yes.
In a way,
yeah.
it kind of adds to the charm of like
The
something
mid-budget
about
charm,
them.
yeah.
I can't explain it.
I know exactly what you
Like-
mean.
I love
It's
those
like-
janky
yeah,
animations
super
they use as
bizarre,
well. They've
yeah.
been using since like
Yeah,
since
yeah.
era.
Since
The
Yakuza
janky
3.
animations,
NPC models are
the
all
same
horribly
fucking
ugly.
maps.
The same
Like,
match.
it's like
going
when-
back home.
When they plot me back in Kamurocho, I already know where like, the batting cages are, the champion district. Like I don't even need a map.
It's all
Yeah.
feel.
Like I know this is my home.
It's like if you've been to Shinjuku in real Japan after playing this game,
Just
it's the
running
same
around
thing.
at a full
It's
sprint.
like, yeah, I know where everything is.
Yeah, I did.
Almost.
God,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know
like,
what? I
the
never thought about that. Yeah, I did go to Shinjuku. Yeah, now I want to go
Exactly,
back
you gotta-
even more. I'm gonna pretend
Yeah,
like I'm in
pick
the
up a
games.
bicycle,
Yeah,
just
put on
slam it
iPads and
down.
everything.
Someone walking
Yeah.
by, you know?
Was it
They have a little
Yeah.
section for tourists to pretend to be Kiryu Majima.
Oh, really?
Get
Was
it out
it-
of your system.
was it Shinjuku or was it like some other like I thought like it was based off
Oh,
of like
Kamurocho is Kabukicho.
that is that in Shinjuku?
I think. That big crossing?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I might be misremembering, but I went there like last year. And the train station we got off of was Shinjuku.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Kiryu
Well,
Station.
if you didn't play any of
May as well
what's
be.
that came out in 2023, what was the last entry in the series you played?
Actually, well earlier this year, I beat
Oh, nice.
Yakuza
Nice,
7
yeah.
or Like a Dragon, whatever.
Maybe the best one.
Mm-hmm.
I put it off for a while. I actually it was like around this time last year I think I finished it. Like early 2023. So good.
It is.
Amazing.
It is. It's true.
I think I've played all of the mainline entries.
Okay.
I haven't played Judgment. I have not played Ishin. I have
Yeah,
not played
beginning,
that
yeah.
came out this year, right? Ishin?
yeah, the remake.
Yeah, I haven't played that. I have not played The Man Who Sold His Name.
one-
That's not. It's billed as a side story. But
Yeah,
it
quite-
really
quite
is
frankly.
not at all.
Yeah, my friend was telling me. Yeah, my friend was telling me. He's like, hey, make sure when you do get to this, make sure you play this one first
Yeah.
before Infinite
Yeah.
Wealth.
I was telling
Yes,
Nick,
it's very
in
good.
ways it feels, like
Yeah.
more of a proper send off
so
to
excited.
Kiryu's character than Yakuza 6 did. With the way that
It really,
with the way that Gaiden ends, I was very satisfied.
yeah, fuck man, I gotta play it. I gotta play it.
Yeah, not saying anything more about that, but it is great. I'm actually playing through Dead Souls
wonderful.
right now. Yeah,
How is that?
it's way better than everyone pretends. I think that people have never actually played it. I think they just see the cover and they see like zombies and Ryuji with
Yeah.
the cyborg arm. Like, oh, this is stupid. Yeah, because there's a serious crime drama. What is the zombie shit? It's actually pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, because I think it's like it wasn't because I feel like I didn't get into it until like 0 came out, because I knew of the games before then. I remember like you mentioned the cover art and stuff. It kind of like pulled me away. Like I feel like the American stuff was like pushing it as like something it wasn't.
The American cover art presents it as actually exactly what it is. It is a just gore fest, blasting zombies, not even remotely similar to a mainline game entry.
That's wonderful.
But you just happen to be Akiyama.
That's so great.
Yeah, is he the only playable character?
No, it's actually presented as a direct sequel to Yakuza 4. So it starts off like right after 4 ends, Akiyama's like hungover or whatever, and then zombies start killing people. And Kiryu's at the orphanage, and some random guy in a suit, I haven't gotten far enough to know who he is yet, is like, I kidnapped Haruka, you gotta come. Dragon of Dojima. He's like, again, I must go, you know? And I haven't gotten to where Majima or Ryuji show up yet, but I'm assuming Ryuji got his body harvested and turned into Cyborg 009
I'm
or
curious to see
something.
how he survived from getting fucking blown up after having been shot.
He's a cyborg, you know. They just need like one eyeball, and it's like the whole guy.
I was like thinking like I couldn't remember if he got blown up or pushed off a tower.
He got
It's one of the two.
Yeah, he got beaten nearly to death by Kiryu, and then he exploded.
Yeah.
He's back.
But he's back. And
I do want to play those. I'm very much looking forward
Infinite
to
Wealth.
8.
Like a Dragon
Yes,
Gaiden
same.
comes with a demo
Yeah.
for Infinite Wealth that doesn't unlock until after you finish
Haven't
the
touched
main
it.
area, which I think is smart. But
I'm psyched to see Danny Trejo in the fucking game.
all these Americans coming over, making the name.
I feel like Danny
Johnny
Trejo,
Gat.
he'll do like
Johnny
anything
Gat.
though. Because I was like super psyched, and then a few weeks later, he
Oh.
was like in a Daily Wire like animated series with like Ben Shapiro. I'm like, okay.
Danny Trejo is?
oh,
Yeah, he like
and Patrick Warburton.
yeah, Patrick. Yeah, it's depressing.
Oh yeah, the one that's like the generic kind of like semi big mouth Rick and Morty.
It's like it's
style.
straight up like it's Brickleberry for racists.
Yeah. It's down to see Adam Carolla show, right? He's like, I don't understand why I gotta call him
Not
this
to
when
say
they're
that
that.
Brickleberry is like
Not
a
for
progressive
racists.
bastion of
Oh.
media or anything like that, but like it's just that equally
yeah.
like lowest common denominator
Right.
entertainment for
Flashing colors for
people
dum
of-
dums.
yeah. You have to be quite intelligent to understand the humor
nuances
of
of it all,
Brickleberry.
Yeah, all the racist Brickleberry fans are up in arms right now. Like, how dare he say that we don't exist? This is racist Brickleberry fan erasure.
Brickleberry probably is pretty racist too, actually.
I'd have to guess.
Yeah. Whatever.
I mean, yeah, that bear says some wild things.
Yeah, he looks directly at the camera.
the talking bear.
He's like, "Hey, this ain't your mama's bear. This ain't no Yogi bear."
Yeah.
He punts Boo Boo into the sun, Garfield style.
So yeah, it's nice to know that Yakuza now exists in the same universe as
America's a
Ben
real place
Shapiro.
now, yeah.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, I always
Yeah.
whenever I play Yakuza games, I always think like, this is the real world. This is just how things are in Japan.
Yeah.
So the drastic change in 7 to playing as a severely mentally damaged man, seeing dragons and laser beams and things, didn't feel like that much of a big shift to me.
You know what? Actually, I just realized something. Ben Shapiro basically was in Yakuza 7.
As the politician?
Oh yeah.
The one guy the
Bleach Japan
Bleach
guy.
Japan
yeah.
guy. Yeah.
The guy who's like, no one should be allowed to have sex because I don't get to.
Basically, that is him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like this like little.
It's like a little toady.
Hate that bastard.
Oh man, it's
Oh,
they do it again.
man.
RGG.
Consistently good. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I hope it continues to be good with what's his face is gone.
Negotiate.
Super Monkey Ball guy. Yeah.
I forget his name.
Super
The
Monkey
Super
Ball
Monkey
guy.
Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super Monkey
Yeah.
Ball, Yakuza Blonde. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts on time spent with the series? Yeah, really.
Never
we
time
can't,
wasted.
can't recommend
Awesome,
it enough.
Fucking awesome, dude. You gotta check it out.
I don't know how much time I spent playing Mahjong.
Yeah, that's
but
really going to be
it's a
one of
lot.
like the
Man, I never fuck with. No, I never fuck with the mahjong side quests.
No, same. I don't play mahjong. I don't play some of the other board games.
Probably. Well. I didn't play. I taught myself how to play it just so I could do it in Yakuza. And that's usually the first thing I go for is the mahjong parlor at the start of the game.
Was it hard to learn?
As a child to play how to play mahjong, and I completely forgot as I got older.
How did you know how to play mahjong as a child?
All right, we had this game like this. It was called like UB Funkies, and you put these monkeys on this little thing, and they'd walk around this virtual world, and it had mahjong.
Monkeys playing mahjong in a virtual world? It's kind of sick.
Yeah, and there was a mahjong thing, and then me, my brother, and my mom would just play the mahjong.
This is what you had instead of Neopets?
It's not even like a Neopets. It's like proto
toys,
like way
toys
before
to
Skylanders. It was a proto Skylanders.
So what you would buy the toy and put it on the like laser disc and it would teach you how to gamble? That's kind of cool.
It's like this bizarre little thing.
Yeah, mahjong. I learned entirely by losing in Yakuza for about a month. And now
Was it
confidence.
worth the?
Now, hey, when I watch Kaiji, I know exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah, see, with Kaiji, sometimes I'm just like, I'm gonna go along with whatever's happening here, and then, hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, there's only the one mahjong arc, but it's fine,
Yeah.
It's just a Kagi, whatever.
Yeah, Kaiji. That's like, they haven't gotten to that, have they?
They never adapted it.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Well,
Too
we
bad.
can move on from that. Do you want to hit the
Anyways.
Q&A, or do you want to talk about any other games you've been playing? Or any other media you've consumed recently? I mean,
I
you
think I
did
accidentally
mention that
already
you're
did.
playing Yakuza Dead Souls. And PS3 emulation is fine on the Steam Deck? All right.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Of course.
I wouldn't know anything about. I'm playing the same 1 frame per second Dead Soul I remember on my old PS3.
Okay.
As intended.
Well, I've been playing hilariously the latest release from M. Dickey. If you guys are familiar with that developer,
He still makes games.
Kevin, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Yu Testament or Hard Times.
Let me see.
Hard Times.
Sounds familiar. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, not.
That's fair. He
ringing a bell.
released a game in October called Old School, and I was sold on it because someone described it as Indie Bully 2, and I was like, oh, I'm in immediately.
Oh, okay.
What I didn't realize, like his other games, is that this is all built on like a wrestling game engine, and the Dreamcast, like the graphics are very Dreamcast era, right? But it has a whole like series of simulations happening that I find so fascinating and hilarious. So I've already put in like 30 plus hours just fucking trying to customize students at this stupid wrestling high school. Or like the teachers will pile drive you if you're like misbehaving or some shit. And like the way you like interact
Sounds
with
like
everything in
used
the
to school.
environment, because it's built on like this wrestling game engine. It's just like hold the taunt command. So your character's like, just taunting and gesturing furiously whenever they want to do anything. And it's fantastic. Can highly recommend that one.
Yeah. All of M. Dickey's games are great because they're so hideous and
Yeah, but
disgusting.
they're
It
so
really
they're
has a
so
lot of
ambitious, which I love. Yeah.
I know they're crazy, and they're all built on the same like. Isn't it like a Fire Pro
So
Wrestling or something is the base? So in a way, it's tied back to the Suda 51. It's kind of grasshopper.
I remember
adjacent.
playing the Yu Testament as a child and being like, this is incredible.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about it and saying like, "Yeah, I got this game. My
talk to
brother got me.
Jesus.
You talk to
You
Jesus.
get
and you do the
crucified.
miracle." Like, that doesn't exist.
If you make the wrong decisions, it was so cool. All right. Aside from that, I think the last media that I'd really want to cover from the end of 2023 was Godzilla -1, and then the movie Saltburn, both of which I consumed within like this past week.
Yeah, I saw Godzilla -1. I've seen people complaining about Saltburn. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know why they're complaining.
Oh, you saw
Good guy.
it.
But,
You heard.
Okay.
That's all I know about it.
Spoilers.
Yeah, my fiance watched it. She was like, I thought that'd be a nice, funny movie. Then a guy's eating jizz out of the bathtub?
It's it was.
Yeah, Godzilla -1. I saw it and I had
Really?
a less
You
than
didn't like
stellar
it?
experience with it. Yeah, I went for a friend's birthday, and we did not realize that we bought tickets for the 4DX version of the movie.
No.
And I don't know if you guys have done that. I had not before.
The amusement park ride?
Like your seat was shaking.
Yeah, it's like violent. Like the seat was
No.
shaking, like they were spraying water and stuff. Like it was to a point where I actively, whenever Godzilla showed up, I was like actively like upset because I'm like, no, it's, just like shaking. Like the
my
person
God.
next to me was like their popcorn was like flying
That's
all over me, and like
immersive,
they were
Kevin.
shooting
What are
like
you talking
moldy
about?
water out. It was so fucking
Yeah, you feel like
Nasty.
Godzilla's
That's his
right in front
atomic
of you.
breath.
yeah, yeah, like that. I think I have to watch it again, like under
I
like
think your experience was
normal
tarnished. Yeah, certainly.
circumstances. Yeah, like that being said, I like it's hard not to compare it to Shin Godzilla, which is like I'm not even a big Godzilla guy, but like
Wow.
that is like one of my favorite movies ever. And Godzilla -1, I liked it, but it felt like it was more of this like it kind of felt, I guess, to me cornier.
Yeah,
But
it was
still,
very.
like,
It was very
it
much.
had more of the human emotional
Yeah.
element that like Shin Godzilla was missing. But I like that. I like the whole like Shin Godzilla, like the whole like, oh, I hate bureaucracy kind of angle of it. Like everything was so meticulous, and they had to do
I haven't
it in a
watched Shin
specific
Godzilla.
way.
Is that a contemporary
Um,
setting or is it also a period piece? Like, okay.
That's a contemporary setting, yeah.
It's Mystery
And, like,
Megillion.
so yeah, -1.
Yeah,
I
total
liked how it was
post-war
like
Japan,
1940s Japan.
Attitudes and everything.
Yeah,
Yes, the bubble era, as Yakuza calls it.
yeah, bubble. They were shooting bubbles at me during the movies. Yeah, that was like I
That
do
sounds
not recommend
miserable.
ever doing that. By the way, it was terrible. Like my friends like brought food and like, I
Nachos.
guess I can't eat this. Like my friend had like
Chili
nachos.
cheese dog
I-
spraying everywhere.
Yeah, they straight
Oh.
up like just put it on the floor. I was like, I guess I have to wait till the movie's over because like it was that bad. Like I'm not even kidding. Like it was like straight up a roller coaster. Like they would shake.
Did
you
anyone seem to be
so
enjoying it? Anyone
fucking
seemed like,
hard.
yeah, I paid for this. Hell yeah.
No, we like no, like everybody was like because like there's like this like they
We're
call it
turning the tickler
by the
on.
way. It's like I was like, oh, the tickler is on the seats, and they just like they like punch you in the back of the fucking spine. Like there was even a scene in the movie where like
Yeah.
it's when they're all in the conference like making their big plan. There was a scene where like all the
And they
characters are standing
activated
and they
the
all sit
fucking
down at the
thing.
same time, and the seats shake. The seats shake.
Oh
so
my
you can
God.
feel what it's like for a
That's
bunch
so-
of Japanese men to sit in wooden chairs.
You're just randomly getting punched in the spine for
It sounds
hours.
like something out
Yeah,
of
it
a
was
sitcom
terrible.
or like dystopian.
This sounds like fucking
yeah.
Takeshi's Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like hell.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
game
yeah.
show.
Like I always I had no idea it was gonna be that severe. Like I knew it existed. I'm like it's not for me. But then by the time we got there, it's like okay. And then I saw there was like a place
Fucking,
to put
like,
your feet
straps.
in. Like there's like a actual footrest on it.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, it was like
Just a
it was
saw
like, I'm
trap.
like, it really it felt like I was gonna have to like carve a key out of my friend's belly.
Oh my god, yeah. You put your feet in there, they immediately get severed.
Yeah.
I can't believe. I almost
so-
saw something in that.
What was that?
I almost saw something in 4D.
Yeah, thank God you didn't. That's
So
why
glad I
That's why you're
didn't.
here to
You
talk to
were
us.
yeah. Consider
It would
yourself
have been
lucky.
hell. It was gonna be Dragon Ball Super
Destroyed.
Broly.
Yeah.
It would
Oh
have
my
been
God.
Broly would
hell.
have popped out of the screen and beaten the shit out of you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Finally, you
like
get
it's
to
the
feel
mountainside.
His head scraped across ice. What the hell is up?
Wow.
Then that will hurt you. Yes.
I would recommend.
But yeah,
a
I do
rewatch.
want to check
think
it out
there's
again.
merit,
Like maybe
yeah.
it's the comfort of my home. Yeah, without somebody just fucking shoving me around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's oh
His
man.
idea was
People.
making something like this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's such a bad. It really like it's like Martin Scorsese talks about how like the
Martin Scorsese
the
only
theme
sees movies in
parkification of, like
4DX.
movies and
That's his
superhero movies. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like I worry like if you put him in that
His
chair,
neck
he would
just-
probably die.
He'll immediately crumble.
Like
He
like,
would. No.
he would just like his spine would break, but he would die of a broken heart.
Oh yeah, sit him down to see the marbles. See which one
Yeah,
kills him
that-
first.
Oh my god.
Oh, man. I haven't seen the.
Would recommend it.
I haven't seen a single Godzilla movie ever.
You never seen a single one?
No, but I did see 13 going on 30 for the
Jennifer
first time
Garner.
yesterday.
Wonderful.
Great film.
How was that?
I could kind of get why people used to say I look like Mark Ruffalo. He's not that bad. I only knew him as the Hulk, so it's interesting seeing him in a new
I can
light.
kind of see that now that you mention that. Yeah.
Well, don't let it affect your judgment or anything.
Yeah.
But
Hey, no, he's a handsome man. You know, nothing wrong with that.
decent film.
Yeah, and 13 going on 30. Yeah, if you got time, go watch Godzilla -1, 13
Yeah.
going on 30, and then watch a guy lick some jizz out of the bathtub.
13 going on 30. Yeah.
Saltburn.
Yeah. Watch 13 going on 30 in the 4DX experience. I think that'll really.
When they sprinkle the wishing dust, you
Bring
get
it up.
punched in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And that would be like they would take
Yeah.
advantage of everything they get their hands on. I watched a movie a couple days ago that I saw. Like I went in completely blind. I heard a lot of good things about it. The Holdovers.
Yeah.
It stars Paul Giamatti. Didn't know
Is
anything
that a
about it.
new
Just watched
movie?
it. It was
Old?
amazing.
Really?
It's like it's a new movie, but like if you watch it, it looks like it's
wonderful.
straight up from like the early 70s. Like it's like
I love
it's
the
shot on that
texture,
same like
yeah.
grainy film. The writing, the acting, like it takes place in 1970, and it's like it really is. I don't know. It's just a really great movie.
Oh, well, now I gotta
it's like
wait
it's a Christmas
12 months
movie,
before I touch it.
but yeah, no, I watched it like after Christmas, and like they thankfully also did New Year's or whatever. But it's one of those movies where it's like I could easily see it being a movie people would watch like every year. It's so good, but it's like great performances. It's like it straight up feels like it would fit it right
Okay,
in with
wow.
like something like The Graduate. It's like of
Christmas
that era.
movies?
What's that?
As a Christmas movie?
Cinema of
Well,
the era.
not
yeah.
the Christmas
Nice.
movie, but like as a movie of like a yeah, no, yeah,
As a
classic
good movie.
classic Christmas movie, The Graduate. No, like they just like the era, like it's like it's like it's like Paul Giamatti, but like a lot of like I think lower
Yeah,
profile
I
actors,
get
so
you.
it like doesn't like take you out of it.
Right. No Timothy Chalamet shocking you.
No, he was
No.
busy with the Wonka verse or whatever
Right.
the fuck. But yeah, it was one of those like again I'm bad about keeping like a best of 2020 or best of that current year list, but like that was like I caught it at the very tail end of the year, and I was like that was probably my favorite
Nice.
new movie I saw this year.
I just remembered as well.
You
I
know?
also caught The Boy and the Heron. If any of you guys caught it,
I still have
Yeah,
What'd you
I
think?
saw that.
I liked it. It didn't blow my mind.
I
or
liked
anything.
it. Didn't love it. No, I
At-
didn't
at
like.
this
I was.
point-
I didn't love
yeah,
it, but I liked
like-
it. Yeah.
I liked it. It's a beautiful movie, but it did feel formulaic, like the Miyazaki kind of formula.
It's no Porco Rosso.
And then just kind of like
No, it was
weird,
no Porco Rosso. No.
I don't know. Perhaps it was a cultural disconnect with the whole like I'm gonna call her mother now type shit at the end. I was like, I can't really
Yeah,
get behind.
I agree with
this.
I mean, like we were watching Castle in the Sky like a few days before the movie. We saw it, and I'm just like Miyazaki is at his best when he's just having fun. And like there are elements of The Boy and the Heron like where that's very clear. I'm like, yes, like more of this. And like it was like there's definitely worse movies of his than that one. But I think like I just really prefer like his like 80s and 90s stuff where like there's like this adventure and action to them, like Mononoke, Porco Rosso, all that kind of stuff.
Cagliostro, all that stuff.
Yeah. And I think Nausicaa, like I think like his newer stuff it's a little bit more
Hey, it's almost have like a prestige
Wabi
cinema
Sabi
feel
or
to
something
it,
like
which
that,
Is,
like
unfortunate.
So I think this guy is a little depressed.
yeah, this guy's got problems.
Yeah. Did you watch The Boy and the Heron in English or Japanese? Because I watched the English dub. And
Japanese,
I enjoyed it. You know, I usually think they do a pretty good job. Yeah.
I heard
It
Robert
had
Pattinson was good.
Pattinson and Willem Dafoe in the same
Yeah.
movie, but Robert Pattinson is like doing a Willem Dafoe voice the whole time. So when Willem Dafoe showed up, I was like,
Okay.
is this actually him or is it Robert Pattinson? Yeah, just doing a voice, but I liked it.
Interesting. Yeah.
All right, shall we move on to
That's
our
cool.
Q&A and then close out
I'll get around
tonight's
to it.
episode? All right,
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds good to me.
let's see what we got. Coming in first. Question for Nick and I from Goon is, will you be reviving Yu Yu Hakusho is the greatest anime ever made? And frankly, never heard of it. His next question is, Hunter x Hunter live action, when?
I would sooner
Boy.
flatten my nutsack with a lead mallet.
If they couldn't
You
get
don't
this
think
right,
you don't think that you could give 5
No.
episodes of Hunter x Hunter? A satisfying arc.
I don't want to. Episode 1, the entire Hunter.
There you
arc.
go.
Episode 2, Chimera Ant.
basically, yeah, it would be that fast paced.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they could do like a One Piece treatment on it. But again, I don't.
Would
need
you
it.
cast a literal
Even the One
child
Piece
as
live action, I
Gon
didn't need it.
and Killua, or
I don't think.
I think you'd have to. Yeah.
yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I just don't think it
I
could
don't
work
think
in
so.
live action. It's something that could only exist in the realm of comic books and cartoons,
Excellent.
and that's fine.
That
That's where
is
it belongs.
totally fine. Yeah.
I don't want to see CGI.
Weird,
men.
yeah.
I don't want to see big, stupid, circular CGI. Show me rock while some guy's like, "Oh!" I don't
With
wanna see it.
Mickey Mouse now public domain, how are we feeling about that? Is it just Steamboat Willie, from what I understand? Yeah. And
It's
Tigger,
just Steamboat Willie.
from what I
Yeah,
heard.
I guess
This
so.
is also public domain now. Yeah. So now they're just
Yeah,
waiting
Winnie
for
the Pooh was already
other
public
characters.
domain. Yeah. So now we got Tigger.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now I can make
Can't
my
wait for
Winnie
that
the Pooh
horror
and Tigger
Winnie
buddy
movie,
cop.
too. Oh, yeah.
That's what I wanted to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
There
Owl's
you go.
Revenge.
Yes.
It's certainly better than the fucking
No.
deluge of
What
creepypasta movies.
Winnie the Pooh
Uh,
killed you.
What if he was evil?
What if Slender
I mean,
Man
like-
was real? Why don't they make? You
I
know,
saw
they
like 3 trailers drop.
Already?
For, like, creepy like. Steamboat
Already?
Willie.
It's been like a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a horror game.
There's a game and there's like
gotta
a
strike
game and I
while the
think
iron's
2
hot.
movies.
So they just had that cooking in the oven, huh? Just waiting.
I mean, I get it. If you're a desperate
Hmm.
content creator, and you see that, like, we gotta have this trailer ready for when the fucking, the announcement drops or when the copyright expires. It's just like, I don't know. When me saying that is me saying I'm considering that basically.
If you need a voice
Yeah.
actor, I've been told
I might
them
do a
the
podcast with
talking.
like my next
you go, there you
podcast might be
go.
like me and Mickey or something like that.
Right. You get some guy. You don't even have to do the voice because you can't. I think
It's
it's the
Mickey
one that
Mouse. This is new Mickey Mouse.
Hey, it's
Yeah.
me, Mickey.
Yeah, it'd be like
Hey.
we get somebody else to do the voice and we just talk about whatever the hell we feel like.
Yeah, just kind of a hang.
Just
podcast.
chatting, sure.
Yeah, it's sort of a chill out, like
Like totally
Friend
unscripted,
simulator.
just off the
Yeah.
dome.
yeah.
Just chilling with my pal Mickey.
Yeah.
He likes all the same stuff I like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No conflict. No disagreement. Every episode's
Goon
4
keeping it up, asking if we have any predictions for
alright.
2024 about which company will go under first. I'm assuming within the gaming sphere, and who will get bought out by Sony or Microsoft.
Hopefully, Bloober
first.
Team.
That's
Hopefully,
a good
Bloober
question.
Team dies after they finish fucking up Silent Hill 2 and ruining it and making me miserable.
Yeah. Well, I predict Sega is going to make the comeback of the century this year.
I agree.
I hope so.
This is Sega's
I-
year.
I know that they
Yeah.
announced that like series of games coming out. Because
Yeah.
at first, like I thought
But we
about
don't
Sega
want that
immediately
to
too, and I
happen,
was like,
we don't want them to go under. I do want the
I
Dreamcast.
hope
want
they
them
have
to-
that
the
comeback.
Dreamcast
Well,
too.
yeah, I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I want the Neptune or the Pluto or something.
Yeah, it would be crazy if like Ubisoft just like had such a horrible year, yeah, and then it's like, well, no one gives a
Just
shit about
died.
their games anymore.
That'd be
for some
great.
reason.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I
Guess
think-
we
I
should have
think
made
we're
a
a
new
few games
Rayman.
out from
Oops.
yeah. I mean, I'm wondering if we're gonna get like the next Switch this year,
No.
because like I feel like I see half and half. People say because like it's been 7 years almost since
it's
the
2017. Oh,
Switch came out. That's
My God,
Yeah.
That's pretty long. I mean,
Console
the
generations, yeah,
DS was
typically
about
are
that
7
long.
years, yeah.
Like, it's also one of those things. It was like underpowered when it came out. I know
And
they're
now
not always
it's-
like the head of the fucking technology game, but like, you know, we have there's PS5 now, and like, it's way further behind.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the
and not to
portable
mention,
space
like,
is so
Steam Deck
different
is like
now, yeah.
a
It's
direct
great.
competitor. Yeah.
Pretty
I'm
impressive.
recording this whole damn thing on the Steam Deck.
So I'm like, I really?
Yeah, really. Every episode
Free
is
advertising,
made,
Valve,
edited,
send the
recorded
check.
entirely on Steam Deck. Yeah.
See,
Yay,
they gotta,
please.
Switch has to have they have to have a
Built in. Yeah, there
podcasting
you
like
go.
app.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That
No.
because it's like they can't not just do a Switch 2. It has to have like a big gimmick. You know, like the Wii had motion controls.
Yeah.
The Switch 2 will allow you to record a podcast.
Right.
You know.
Like the sequel to Game Maker Garage podcast.
Nintendo Labo podcasts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have AI
So that's my-
Mario.
that's-
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
prediction. They'll have like you have a cardboard microphone. You can.
Yeah. For
record
the
a podcast
yes, for
and-
the adult Nintendo fans. Yes.
Yeah,
There you
it's
go.
coming out. It's coming out this
It
year.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Actually, you write that down, Sam?
Further on from Goon, the GTA Anniversary Trilogy was allegedly fixed and polished for the mobile release on Netflix. What other stinky games should Netflix be bankrolling to make good? Alright, do you play it with
What
the
the fuck
remote?
is Netflix gaming?
It's
How
like
could you
can stream
play? How could you
games
play
through
Grand Theft
Netflix
Auto on Netflix?
onto your
though?
phone?
Yeah.
What it?
Oh,
I think they have like a touchpad
Virtual
on
controller.
your phone, and you like that kind, like
Oh.
the GTA mobile, yeah, virtual controller.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
It's I don't
thought
care
it-
about it, and I don't want it.
I mean, I wanted to get
Think
that
about it.
trilogy
Mm-hmm.
when it came out, and it looked like dog poo. I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like, I hate to say it, but like too little, too late.
Fucked it up.
You know,
pretty bad.
you fucked it up.
And I can't see Netflix gaming being a good solution to any franchise. Like, oh, thank God it got brought to Netflix. This one.
I feel
Put in
like
so many
every
hands.
single
Yeah.
Right,
Finally.
right.
there's
I can live stream my games.
there's been like multimedia companies that try to be like, what do you stream the game?
Google
Like, there's
Stadia
Amazon Luna,
from back
that's
then,
dead.
yeah.
There was
Yeah, dead.
Google Stadia, that's dead.
Yeah.
And even back when it was like not GameFly, but some other game like Game Zone, some shit. It's
yeah,
like
I do
streaming
remember that
games to your
shit.
computer. They've all failed. They've all failed miserably. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the only way to play the new
Switch has it as well. Cloud versions of games.
Oh yeah, that's like the you
Yeah,
buy the
those
physical
don't-
and they don't
If,
work.
if you're in
They,
Japan,
don't
yeah.
work. They only work if you live in Japan where
It's,
the internet is good.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, another reason to go. It's my cloud
Dramatically
game.
Rev's following up says Netflix should fund terrible choose your own animated visual novels, put them on Netflix as playable games. Yeah.
Visual novels.
I'd be fine with that. If they just started taking every like PC 98 game that was
Yeah,
never translated,
I want
just
to play
throwing it up there with
Kojima's
the
games on
Netflix
Netflix.
translation. I'd go through
That's-
a bunch. No, not Kojima, not that high quality. I'm talking about like random, like stupid zombies / Back to the Future knockoff. Just there's like a billion PC 98 games. No one's giving a shit about.
Yeah.
There's a billion strip mahjong games waiting to be plundered.
I mean, people love that
Totally
aesthetic too.
calm down.
I think it could work.
I'm very into it right now. I've tricked myself into thinking like, yeah, I had a PC 98. Yeah, this is nostalgic for me.
And with that,
Yeah,
that
I
actually
had
brings us to the
MSX.
end of our questions. So unless we got any other closing thoughts on what we just got.
Yu Yu Hakusho live action was the deepest pit of hell, and I was brought out of it by remembering that Yakuza exists.
Yep.
Yeah, let's hope a big
2024
year
year
for
to
Sega.
Sega. Let's go.
Oh, there we go. There
Sonic
we go.
Adventure 3. Yep.
Isn't the Sonic movie coming out next year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
This
and
year?
this
There
month,
is.
you know,
There
we
is.
got
Shadow
Like
the
a Dragon
Hedgehog.
Infinite Wealth, one of the first big releases of the year. So got that to look forward to.
Oh my god.
Kevin,
Yeah, Sega.
thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you for opening up the wound that was your experience
Yes.
watching. Exactly. We face
That is
our
how
trauma.
we heal.
Yes.
Yeah, we heal.
You
Yeah.
know?
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you also for the laughter, really the best medicine. The story of you being brutalized at the movie
Very
theater.
good.
I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
Yeah, that was like We had no idea what we were getting into. We're just like, oh,
Perhaps for your
okay,
birthday, we can
alright,
book
yeah.
a movie theater, get the 4DX Yu Yu Hakusho live action experience. Just, you.
Sure, yeah, feel the same inside and out as you watch it.
I forgot to mention real quick too. Is like when when they would like shoot guns in the movie,
They were
they
shooting.
would like flash these bright lights in the ceiling. Like it's like and there's no
You're
warning.
a
If you
god,
have
or-
epilepsy, it's like you're like gonna die. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, seriously.
They want to simulate the danger.
All right, Kevin, where can people find
Yeah.
you if they are interested in what you've got?
You can find me on social media at Kevin Podas. We are wrapping up Thought Cops after 7 long years. Very soon, we have one more episode to record. We have one should be out soon. Then we have one more to record. It's a big call-in spectacular, so you guys
Yeah.
are welcome to call in.
Hey.
Anybody's welcome to call in. Me and Grant will be there taking calls for however long we feel like, and sending the show off
Good run.
after
Very nice.
a long run. After that, I don't know yet.
Yeah, well, we'll be
I'll
waiting
figure
with
something
bated
out.
breath, you know. We'd love to have you on again. Yeah.
Hey, I'll be
and Nick.
yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, so hopefully
Hopefully under
yeah,
better
something that
circumstances.
Something,
Brings
yeah.
immense pain.
Yeah, yeah.
So Infinite Wealth is good. Yeah, something like that. Well, yeah, thank you very much. And with that, sayonara,
Until next
bye-bye.
time, thanks for listening. Catch you later. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, cue the
Someone play
ending.
Smile Bomb, goddammit, I need it.